The dawning of a new empire is among men. An undefeated champion looks to reign over his kingdom with an iron fist and looks to quiet any man who dares to take the beloved champion from his grasp. Tonight, two men will do battle in the modern-day Colosseum in the hopes of calling himself the champion. Entering first, the former champion N.M. Smudger, a feared competitor that you don't want to see your name beside. A man who simply knows one thing, what it is to smash his opponents. He's lost the gold once before and hasn't felt right since. His hunger for greatness and his desire for the championship makes him a feared man, but also a respected. Tonight, the championship comes back home, coming back to its rightful owner. He's undefeated, but not for long. Those are the words spoken by the challenger. But in order for Smudger to become the champion once again, he must defeat G-Man. Entering the champion, G-Man, a mauler of men, a human anaconda. His ability to get the fight to the ground and strangle his opponent is nothing short of daunting. His aggressiveness helps him take the fight into deep water and drown you. The now current champion looks to put a stamp on his legacy by defending his champion for the first time. Smudger is a great striker, a great wrestler. I'm just better in every aspect. I am the champion for a reason. Smudger will tap tonight and I'll continue my reign. And those are the words spoken by the champion. So, with all that being said, competitors, fans and viewers, please join us in welcoming PrimeTime back to the home of the modern day Colosseum. Welcome to PrimeTime.
What is going on, you beautiful bunch of savages? It is PrimeTime 67. I'm your host, Cyrus the Looney. As always, on this Saturday event, we have a killer night of fights up ahead of us. And joining me in the commentary booth, as always, to call these epic fights is going to be the one and only J-Time TV, sorry brother. And we will be joined a little bit later on by Mr. Humbledink, who will be joining us in the next 5 to 10 minutes. But how are you doing, Jay? Excited as always for these fights, I'm sure.
You messed up my name. You said
bro, I know.
You stuttered before you said J-Time. That's crazy. But nonetheless, though, this should be a great night of fights. Doctor versus Reapsy. Hey, Doctor, I don't know how you got in the co-main event. We got G-Man versus Smudger. We got Spooky versus T.O. Soul. We put Spooky on the prelims. That's crazy. There's just a lot of great matches. What matches are you looking forward to the most, Cyrus?
Honestly, as always, my man, as always, the fights that kind of stand out to myself are always kind of like the low-key killers. BFAP Slick up against TMF Chinsworth. That is going to be in the women's flyweight division. It's not a weight class that you see very often, but both guys happily accepted that. I know that it's BFAP Slick's, kind of favorite weight class, and Chinsworth knows that as well, because we've known that guy for a long time. So these guys are going to really be going at it. Very, very diverse skill sets. And always entertaining ones, but it's hard not to look forward a little bit up that card and see B3 Big E up against KM Caliber. I mean, what a fight. I can see Mr. Humbledink joining us back in this commentary booth. That fight speaks volumes, man. Just two absolutely sensational fighters, and the heat that B3 brings to that cage and the style of KM, I think it's a beautiful matchup to lead towards that co-main and main event.
100%, and Caliber's been around, he's been beating people left, right and center, and he's such a technical striker, technical grappler as well, and that's what you need, J-Dime, if you're going to be fighting in those spots. It's going to be an exciting bout for sure.
Yeah, and I don't know which fight I'm looking forward to the most right now. I'm just reading all of these. Like I said, we got Spooky on the prelims. That's how you know it's a stacked card. How is Spooky on the prelims right now, Cyrus?
Bro, I'm telling you, like you say, the Saturday events in particular, they are what we coin as our pay-per-view events. Of course, we don't charge for them, right? But it's because they're our premier events, especially. We have all really fun matchups on the Friday cards. A lot of, kind of contenders to become, rising stars and the like. But when it comes to Saturday, championships are on the line, and each and every one of these guys are trying to get their name out there, trying to really showcase those skills. And I mean, obviously, we spoke about, the top end of it. You had mentioned that Spooky is at on the prelims here this evening, and he's actually kicking off this one. Raw Spooky up against T.O. Soul in flyweight. I mean, another weight class we don't see a lot of there, Humble, and I think that especially with these styles of fighters, guys that we have seen around the scene for quite some time, got a lot of accomplishments under their belt, you know that they're going to be very well versed. They're not going to be put off by this weight class as a whole, and I think it's actually going to allow us to see a little bit of a variety out of them and kind of showcase something else to what they bring to the table.
100%. Flyweight division's an avoided division essentially because of how fast the guys move and how little damage they kind of land sometimes, and you know it's very difficult if you can find someone really good. But we're talking about the skill sets of these guys. Raw Spooky is a fantastic grappler, and T-Soul, you know, he's a great striker. It's going to be interesting, J Dime. You know these guys as well as I do. And what do we expect to see from Spooky this fight?
We expect to see Spooky grapple. Like, Spooky's a dominant grappler, but sometimes he let his stamina go. He exert too much stamina, but that's what I'm looking forward to. Him trying to dictate the pace and make him play his game, Cyrus.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things that Spooky does fantastically well, like you say, right? He grapples, but I think that he really excels at his composure. We've seen him in a lot of fights where, you know, it doesn't just necessarily go 100% his way, but his ability to be able to adapt in that moment, kind of take it to that next level is often what has allowed him to get his hand raised, Humble. But similar things can be said about Tio Soul in the way that he has gone around. He's had some highs and he's had some lows within this promotion in particular. He's fought both on Xbox and on PlayStation. And he believes that home is now on PlayStation, and he wants to start making a run at things on that side of the equation.
Yeah, he's had a taste of both worlds, right? He's felt what it's like to play both sides of the coin, and he's come back to the PlayStation side thinking, you know, I'm a bit more comfortable in this one. He's going to try and prove that tonight against a very good opponent, somebody who could easily be on the main card, as Jay Dime's been saying. Spooky has been a top contender throughout PrimeTime, and you know he's going to be looking to get on a streak, Jay Dime, at the end of the season.
Yeah, I like how Tim Elliott, aka T.O., is getting out the way of these punches. He's not letting him cut the cage off. He's circling out, and I love to see that, Cyrus.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually a perfect pick for Tio Soul. He's always had a bit of an unorthodox style, and I think Tim Elliott is a guy that's going to allow him to really showcase that. You know, he has a bit of wrestling on him. You can see that he's got unorthodox movements, and I mean, right now, Tio Soul looking calm and composed. Look at that movement, as Jay was saying about there, Humble.
Yeah, definitely a great movement from him, and he's making it really difficult for the forward pressure grappler to get a takedown. As I say that, he gets him inside control, and this is where Spooky is at his best. If you've watched his stream recently, Cyrus, this is where he holds people, this is where he dominates, this is where he has success, essentially. Yeah,
I mean, look, when it hits the mat, it's a bit of a different kettle of fish when it comes to Spooky. I'll be honest with you, the reason I was clapping there is that lunging jab into the single leg. I love it. Like, I mean, remnants of like UFC 3 setups for takedowns, absolutely beautiful on the entry. The animation, the technique behind it was fantastic. But Tio Soul able to get back to his feet, at least momentarily, and looking to load up on some big overhands. Maybe some frustration after losing that takedown, settling in, Jay.
Yeah, but I like what Tio Soul's doing, even though he's been taken down. It looks like he still has pretty good composure right now. It don't look like he's panicking right now, and that's what you got to do when you're going against a dominant grappler, Humble.
Nice work right there. Great work from T-Soul on the outside, and you've nicked the nail on the head, essentially, Jay Diamond. He's doing a fantastic job doing that grappling, and that get-up that we talked about earlier on was such an important part of this fight, because it showed Spooky can't keep him there, and it gives T-Soul that confidence on the feet that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, exactly right, and as these guys are absolutely bawling at each other. Big shout out to Gringo_AFC for the raid as again. Same as last week, 37. We appreciate each and every one of you. Joined at the right time there, J-Time. Straight on this first fight while these two vets are swinging some leather in the center of that cage.
Yeah, his timing was impeccable. He joined during the first fight. He didn't miss none of the action. Because somebody going to get put to sleep or somebody going to tap this fight. So this is perfect, Humble.
Yeah, this is definitely perfect time. Oh, and a big overhand comes right there from Tim Elliott as he graces the chin of Spooky right there. Spooky really having a difficult time of kind of closing that distance at the moment and getting that takedown on him, Cyrus.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not often we see this many overhands, J-Dime, but each and every one that he is throwing is connecting square on that chin, or at least the block of Spooky. I mean, you can see the blood that is kind of starting to build up on that side of the face, and that's all clean hands and overhands. That courtesy of Tio Soul.
Look at that. Very close.
That's a good round, though. I don't know who won that round, because that's a great round. The stats are 1 apart. Maybe that takedown may got Spooky the round, or T.O.'s winning because it looked like the first half of that round, T.O. was controlling it. He was getting out the way. He was circling out. So I don't know who won that round, Humble.
I think if I'm basing the round on damage is what the judges should be, essentially. The biggest shots, from my opinion, came from Tim Elliott on that round. And maybe I'm wrong, but you can see by the head health and the body health and the leg health as well that the damages came from Spooky. So from Tim Elliott. So I've got to give him that round. T-Soul's got to win that.
Oh my god!
Ooh.
Well, if the last round was potentially not his, this round is instantly in his favor. Gotta be careful not to get too overzealous, as that may have just woken Spooky G up, J Diamonds. He's trying to turn this one round after that roll.
Yeah, it looks like he done woke Spooky up because, once you get stunned, you want to get that back in blood. That's why he's fighting so fast, because you won the round, essentially. Unless he do something, he won the round, Humble.
Why do people call him Spooky? I've known this guy for a long, long time. He's like the Undertaker, essentially. That's why it's called Spooky. He gets up, he starts going again, and he changes the game plan every time. So you've got to be wary of him throughout the fight. His T-Soul is starting to show some of that sort of game plan right now, but he gets the takedown at 10 blocked, Cyrus.
Yes, sir. I mean, look, this is a frenetic pace, and quite clearly, the people at home are enjoying, as we've just got second round and second raid gaming Echo, the true legend of the UFC 4 community, coming through with the big raid. Appreciate you guys. Hope all are enjoying, because I'm in J Dime. I mean, how could you not look at these guys going at it, bro? It's been madness.
Yeah, nah, this is a great fight. And why did Humble call him the Undertaker? Like, that's a bad analogy. Why would you compare him to the Undertaker? He's spooky. He's nothing like the Undertaker.
Trust me, man. He's showing it right now, though. You're talking about somebody who's coming back from the dead, essentially. He was getting dropped, he was getting rocked, and he was getting kind of knocked around the ring, Cyrus, but you can't keep him down, and now he's in a dominant position.
Yeah, I mean, we said in the last round, right, when he hits the mat, Spooky's a bit of a different beast. He does take his back from this position. Momentary interruption in their connection, but straight back to it, rest assured. I mean, he's got a bit of time to build up in this position. I imagine he's going to try and go for the top mount. Oh, no, maybe an armbar. Maybe an armbar.
Oh, wait. This may get interesting. Oh.
That's needy. A lot of times, these high-level grapplers, they will go for almost like a fake. They will go to the start of the submission just to see how you start a submission, so they can start to track you in the next attempts a bit easier than they would from guessing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, a lot, especially in positions like that, he didn't want to give up position, right? So he had a little bit of a read. Maybe didn't feel like he had it. Like you said, got a couple of tells maybe from his opponent, or at least attempting to, and he's going to try and work for a position that's a little bit more advantageous. I would love to see the flying guillotine from that one. I'm waiting to see it, guys. That's one of my favorite submissions. It's actually really powerful as well. You can get it sunk in. It could be fights over, but 30 seconds left in this round. Another back and forth one. I'd be interested to see the rounds there, the statistics, because like you said in the first one, very, very close across the course of this one.
I can tell you, this round, or if I'm basing it off how I see them judge UFC 4, they're probably going to give it to Pantoja. Or, Tim Elliott. Who stunned him? Someone got stunned. Whoever got the stun. Yeah, Tim Elliott. Yeah, that's his round. Like, it's crazy how this game works. You can get dominated. If you stun them, that's your round on UFC 4, Humble.
Yeah, definitely. It's about damage, like we talked about earlier. It's about actually fighting your opponent, and who came out of that fight worse off, essentially, is the loser, So Tim Elliott's trying his best to damage Pantoja, but Spooky's trying to keep himself in the fight at all times. It's a great fight, to be honest. The first fight of prime time, had these two raids coming from these two fantastic streamers in Echo and Gringo, and if you don't follow them, you don't know what you're doing, but they've come through the right time, and we've seen an absolute banger right now, Cyrus.
Yes, sir, and it does look like, once again, this round's coming out with a bit of a blasting start. I mean, Pantoja, Spooky, looking focused. He appreciates that this third and final round is likely the deciding one. But the side steps, once again, from T.O. Soul, mixed in with those overhands, they're just so dangerous, Jay.
Yeah, but I like what Spooky's doing to Spooky. I need to stop talking. Never mind. Bro, he's throwing them overhands from hell right now, Humble. Counter.
Damn. It's gonna
he may put him out. Spooky. Oh, he's surviving. Oh.
Yeah, I told you he's the Undertaker. He's coming forward again.
He going Undertaker.
He goes down, man. That's when he gets power. It's like Charles Oliveira almost.
Plus 10 to the power every time, Humble. Doing very well to be elusive here, and he stops this takedown, Jay. That's a big moment for him.
Yeah, his takedown defense have been incredible today, and he kind of needed that. They was in a sequence. They both stunned each other. He needed that just to take a breather, Humble.
Yeah, nice work right there. He's getting caught quite a lot,
Ooh.
but he's still in the fight. One of the things that T-Soul can't do, he is winning this fight in my opinion, but he can't either disrespect or underestimate Spooky at any point because he's still got it in him. But I do think T-Soul's doing a fantastic job in this fight so far.
Yeah, playing out of his socks, he recognizes the opportunity that is ahead of him. I mean, what a feather this will be in his cap.
That was nice. Damn, man.
I mean, playing out of his socks
right now.
Yeah, he played amazing.
This is actually really nice to watch as well, the way he's using the movement, the way he's using the character. It's not a particular character that gets picked a lot. Pantoja coming forward, he's got to be careful. He doesn't come complacent. Time, as I say, that gets caught again.
Yeah, he got to stay up. He's doing a good job getting off that cage, but he dropped. I'm not gonna lie, Tim Elliott needs to be tested. He looked like he's on that Jamba Juice right now. I'm not accusing him of nothing, but he's on something, Humble.
He looks out of ordinary, doesn't he? He's fighting fantastic. There's great movement right there. There's good rhythm. He's catching his opponent left and right. He needs to finish him off with an extra point size. We talk about it all the time in prime time. You know, you have those extra points for finishes that you really want to get because it fires you up the rankings.
Is he making a comeback? Oh my God! The comeback! Is he making it?
Spooky!
Did he make the comeback?
What a fight! What a fight!
This is a war right now. Oh no! I can't talk right now.
He's got my takedown.
God damn,
the man.
I mean, these guys. I think that this was the right change up of pace for him, though, right, Humble? He's probably ahead in this fight after those rocks, so to take it down, kind of close out this round, we'll have to see which way the judges got it, but a frenetic pace, and when you put that much work in, you don't want to be finished on the final bell, right? On that final second.
No, I loved that fight, though. Both guys wanted it, you know what I mean? Both guys kind of wanted it, and you can see it. The takedown was a necessary switch up in the game plan because he realized the danger, and that's what I meant by you can't underestimate Spooky at all times because he can knock you out. Like you've seen it there when he's nearly done. He's been knocked down so many times, and then he catches him and nearly finishes him. And if he didn't take him down, maybe Spooky would have caught him. You know, so that's a good switch up in AJ down.
That was a great fight because T.O. started off good. T.O. was winning. Then Spooky with the comeback. It looked like Spooky was going to finish the fight at one point. Like that was a crazy fight. Like I don't got nothing to say, Humble.
I guarantee, Cyrus, that's exactly what that was. What a fight to start the show. We're going to be moving on to the next one, Cyrus, and I'll let you get onto this one. It looks like Moffat Man versus Capalot, if I'm correct.
Yes, sir, you are absolutely and entirely correct. It is going to be S&B's very own Capalote. He's going to be up against the one and only Moffat Man, the infamous Moffat Man, who is, a tough and tricky kind of competitor to deal with. He has a kind of marauding style that he brings to that table, but of course if we've seen anything out of Capalotti, especially training over with the S&B boys, Jay, it's that he comes prepared for all styles, and he really will give as good as he gets, if not try to do everything they can do, if not a little bit better.
Yeah, and I don't know much about the S&B camp. I know mix-ups is really good. There's a few guys that's really good there. If I know anything from mix-ups, Capalot should put on a really good performance. Whoa, what that ping say? Hold on. What does that ping say?
That is a fairly stable 170. Fairly stable.
Okay. I was Stevie Wonder. I couldn't see for a second. I couldn't see for a second. I was Stevie. It's okay,
You
guys.
had me worried then, bro. I looked over as if it was going to be like a 500-600.
No, I just couldn't. I really couldn't see.
Bro, this is one of those fights that I wanted to see, bro. I know we didn't mention it. We had so many fights to talk about before we got into it, but the Moffat Man, I haven't seen him compete in a little while, personally call his fight, so I am intrigued to see what he's been doing behind the scenes, Humble, what kind of new tools he's been sharpening. Going somebody like Anthony Johnson is a little bit of a different pick for him, so I'm very, very much intrigued on kind of what that's about and maybe what adjustments he's brought to his game, but of course, Capalotti, bro. I mean, this guy's had some really stand-up performances in my mind of what he brings to the table. He's just got a really, really interesting striking style, which really, really stands up to the test of time, I think.
Yeah, definitely. one thing to go back to your point about Moffat, man, he's unpredictable. He's gone away for a while. You don't know what he's going to bring to the table when he does come back. And I think people, by the betting lines, guys, you can't bet on this. You've only got 30 seconds left to bet on the fight. By the betting lines at the moment, Capellotti is a massive favourite. Maybe that's because he's been more active. Usually, J-Dime, I know our good friend Shoot says, like, the more active people essentially win majority of the time because they're keeping up to date with all the updates and they're keeping up to date with the new combinations and the meta, essentially.
Yeah, but Humble, who did you vote for? Who did you vote for? I want to know. Did you vote Humble?
I voted, yeah, but I'm not saying I'm non-biased on this commentary. I'm not biased on this commentary.
I'm just asking us. Whoa! I'm just asking a simple question, Humble. That's it.
100%. I'm not telling you exactly who I voted for because it's unfair, but you know, one of these guys are going to win. And I think the more level than the betting line suggests, and that's what I'm trying to get to, Cyrus.
Yeah, for certain, man. I mean, all of these fights. Now, I don't believe that we're going to see anybody just completely blown out of the water, but I've been wrong in the past. Of course, these opportunities are made for people to have standout performances. I mean, if you have the power of Gustafsson, Johnson, this light heavyweight weight class, it doesn't take too many to get that job done, Jay.
Yeah, and people underestimate the boxing of Alexander Gustafsson. He has 4-star boxing. He just got to stay away from the power of Anthony Johnson because Anthony Johnson hit like a fucking truck, Humble.
Yeah, it's almost like Ngannou versus Miocic in this fight because Gus moves like a middleweight, Cyrus, and you know Anthony Johnson doesn't. Essentially, he's very slow and methodical. His one-shot combinations can land, but if Gus can get going, I was wrong again.
No, you were right, brother. It's one-shot combinations, but when they land with devastating levels of power. I was going to say that early stun, I think, got Moffat Man a little bit worried. This normally, I mean, Anthony Johnson, walk forwards. You don't normally see Rumble kind of on the back foot like this, but almost paying out to his favor so far.
Nice, like, hey, when you have power, you can do anything. When you have power like that, you can afford to do some stuff you're not supposed to be doing because sometimes that power will bail you out, Humble.
Yeah, you are right on that as well, J-Dime. It's a massive factor within fighting. You know, you see people who are physically athletic and more powerful do better at certain things because of that exact thing. They're in better shape, they can recover better, they can do different stuff. But as I was getting to the point is, you know, what I'm really liking and what he can't do, J-Dime, to get to what you said, he can't blow his stamina because if he blows his stamina against Capellotti, you know, he's going to struggle going forward.
Nice.
Oh my.
Ooh.
Those combinations were very, very crispy. I mean, right now, S&B looking very clean. Capellotti really, really picking those shots, and it's an intelligent thing. I mean, you, as we saw already, don't want to be hit by any one of those shots, Jay. None of them.
Now you don't, but Gustafsson a few moments ago threw an uppercut, and you know what it reminded me of? When he was punching Glover with them uppercuts. I don't know why. I just seen the uppercut, and I thought of him uppercutting Glover over and over again, Humble.
Yeah, it's sad to see him as he is now, but yeah, those are the glory days when he was doing that. You know, he's fighting incredible. But we're seeing kind of some of that at the moment, Cyrus. Look at that uppercut right there, beautiful work. We're seeing that in this fight right now, but we're seeing consistency throughout. But then we also seen the power come through in that round, so it's a difficult round to kind of judge based on damage because both guys landed at will, essentially.
Yeah, it was very, very even. If I had to put it one way, the aggression and slightly more significant strikes out to the side of Gustafsson, but it looks like Moffat Man is trying to make changes to that early in the second round, J-Time, turning it up like we expected from the first round, trying to make that power known, but the takedown smoothly done by Gus.
Yeah, I was about to say he's walking forward. He's marching forward now, but Gus was smart. When he marched forward, he shot for that takedown. Just to slow him down because he was marching forward with reckless abandon. Like, he didn't respect him, Humble.
Yeah, definitely. Both these guys are fantastic fighters, and I'll tell you why. Moffat Man came out realizing he needed to switch it up and tried to trick him not trick him, but kind of catch him off guard, catch him kind of thinking he's going to come out in the same aggression as he did before. And, you know, this is how good Capellotti used it against him, took him down, and now he's in a dominant position again, essentially, Cyrus.
Yeah, exactly right. And I mean, very, very dominant position, actually. You can see he's taking his time down here. The S&B boys, they have a good stable of grapplers as well as strikers, of course, from the likes of mix-ups. They can really, really do it all. And I mean, the composure that he's showing in these positions are, you know, it's very, very, I mean, positive to what his upper ceiling potentially could be, Jay, because you know how much that composure can really play out in these fights. It can be the difference maker more often than not.
Listen to me. Composure really can get you to win if y'all are evenly matched. Because somebody may overthrow and overexert, and you're just cool, calm, and collected, keeping your composure. Then when you have composure, you can think too. You can think. You got a clear mind. That's a very key factor in fighting, Humble.
Yeah, you are correct. You got to be. Some people, there's a kind of a balance though, because some people fight better when they're not composed. Some people fight better when they're with reckless abandon. That kind of, you've got to remember, fighting's not clean. It's not. Sometimes it's not best to be clean, and I think that's where people get confused. Sometimes it's just being unpredictable. Tony Ferguson's very unpredictable. Doesn't mean he's great at throwing a hawk or other stuff. He just throws certain things incredibly well. And it's that unpredictability, Cyrus, that you've got to be careful of, and you've also got to have some in your game.
Yeah, it's all about playing to your strengths. And I think that's, once again, we kind of spoke about it earlier, but it's being exemplified in this one right here. These guys, I mean, obviously all of the power is on the side of Johnson. Moffat Man knows the striking pedigree of somebody like Capellotti. So he's taken his time in that early round, trying to pick and choose his spots to explode, kind of like you would imagine a Yoel Romero, right? Just kind of choosing those moments. But as a result, he is allowing Capellotti to unload with a lot of combinations on the outside and kind of play at his range, Jay.
Yeah, this is what I do if I was him. I would keep him on that cage, keep picking him apart from the outside. Just, nice. Just control the octagon, Humble.
Yeah, it's nice work as well as he's doing that exactly that. There you go. You pointed out, Jay Diamond, he's got to pick, he's got to prod at him, Cyrus. He's got to pick and poke and prod and kind of make Johnson throw wild and kind of get into that space, and then that's where he lands his combinations, and that's what he started to do at the end of that round.
Yeah, exactly right. But as you can see, the statistics once again, Gus, I just feel like is edging this away, right? You're going to have to, at least if you're on the side of Moffat Man, knowing that those statistics are there, he's going to have to go hell for leather, and he still has that gas tank where he can really let go in this third and final round, Jay. I mean, we said it doesn't take too many. It really doesn't. He just needs to get a little bit more active, and he seems to be trying that early here in the third.
Yeah, I think Gus doing a great job. Just keep picking him apart from the outside. But Johnson is being interesting with these leg kicks, Humble.
Yeah, you're completely right. And one thing I really like about this round is he came out really hot like he did earlier on, and that takedown that Gus got in the previous round backed him up essentially, because he realised that something might be coming back, kind of backed up, and then we've seen him go into that space now and kind of take over that space where Moffat Man has landed an uppercut, Cyrus, and looks like he's shutting me up.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about him trying to pick his shots. He's now had his opponent hurt, and this is really where I would expect to start to see him empty the gas tank, but he still seems to be sticking to what got him to the dance, so to speak there, Jay, because he hasn't really changed his game plan. He's not turning it up in terms of pressure. He seems to be content to wait for the next one to land.
Yeah, like after he landed an uppercut, he should have, because I don't know what scorecards is, he should have started picking it up a little more. He's fighting more defensive. I don't know what his coaches are telling him right now, Humble.
Well, if you think about it, that first round was incredibly close. Both of us said, we don't quite know. They both got a knockdown each. So Moffat Man's trying to win the third round now.
He's trying to win the fight, not just third round. He's trying to win this fight.
Yeah, trying to separate man from with his consciousness. He could very well need it, and quite obviously you get those extra points, as Humble mentioned in the first fight. But the same can be said about Capellotti, man. When this guy gets hit, he tries to turn it back up on you. Interesting to see Rumble go for the takedown, but not so much when you know Moffat Man's the man behind the sticks. He can grapple as well as strike.
It's work right there. He can grapple and he can strike as well. I'm surprised he hasn't gone to the... I'd say he's comfortably won this round. I don't know if he thinks he's going to knock him out, and if he knock him out. He may knock him out.
Oh, he knocked him out. He knocked him out.
Oh, Jesus. He knocked him out.
That's nice. That's nice.
You proved me wrong immediately, Cyrus. I am getting proven wrong every second this show so far.
But mate, honestly, the Moffat motherfucking man coming through in a big way, Jay. I mean, he stuck to what he believed was going to be the winning strategy up against somebody like Capellotti, and my God, was that man proved right. He bet on himself and came up trumps, my man.
He dominated that third round. We often say the third round's the most important, and he dominated that round. Yeah. He didn't leave it to the judges. He finished the fight. He was down 18-20.
Yeah.
Humble.
Yeah, you're completely right, he was. And I said it at the start of the fight. I don't want to go back and kind of keep me on home, but I said Moffat Man was a massive underdog in the betting line. and I think they were a lot closer match, and you could see that, Cyrus, they were neck and neck throughout. I do think Capalot was winning that fight, essentially through damage, and Moffat Man somehow came back and made adjustments, essentially. That's a good competitor right there.
Yeah, no, for certain, man, for certain. Like I said, he's never, ever out. You might get him down once or twice in those fights, but he ain't going out unless that consciousness is turned off. Unless, his decision is basically taken out of the equation. But another great fight, man. Another great fight. He sticks true. He gets that knockout, and I know that one's going to be a bit sore for Capalotti, but he's going to take a lot of positives out of the performance, I'm sure. I know those S&B guys like to train with each other, like to review some of that footage, so I'm sure there will be lessons learned. But it leads us beautifully on there, J-Dime, Mr. Humbledink, to the next one. Josh VVS up against Von TT. These guys on the PlayStation side of the equation. What can you tell us about these two?
To be honest, not too much, Cyrus. I know that both guys are 1-0 at the moment, but I think these guys are kind of new to PrimeTime, so they're trying to prove themselves. I don't know where they've got the wins because I haven't exactly seen them, but it's going to be interesting to see, because if you want to join PrimeTime and you want to compete as a competitor, your first win that you get on there and you want to know, you can start getting tougher competition immediately, Cyrus. We've seen it time and time again with top competition in here.
Yeah, exactly right, brother. Exactly right. And that's one of the kind of big things about PrimeTime MMA, man. It's been one of the main focuses of us from the very start. Of course, it is community-based around the esporting side of things. That, of course, we allow for everybody to compete, no matter who, kind of who you are or what you're doing. And you kind of play the line, right? You turn up, you want to be able to get involved in a community, whether you need to sharpen those skills and find people to train with, whether you want to showcase that you are the best unsigned talent, whether you want to show yourself to be the best in the world, you can turn up and fight your way through those rankings. We literally have everybody here, from the uned cards to the, to the earning your way up to the live portions here, Jay, which, these guys have this big opportunity now to kind of really showcase their skills. They've gone through the gauntlet of fighting on the uned versions of things, and now they're ready to throw down and, kind of see if they've got that metal to get the gold.
I'm interested to see Von TT fight because I have a friend named Snow. He said, my friend Von TT is really good. He's always in the top 50. He's a top player. And this was just the other day. So now I'm interested to see. And that just came to me. I remember, Humble. So now I got to see.
That's very good. You built him up. And there's a lot of people who've built him up as well. The bet lines are, the 10-1 to him at the moment, or 9-1 to him, sorry, Cyrus. So, very, very big odds kind of swinging in Von T. So people must know him in this community already.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think I've actually seen the name about in the past as well. Be interested to see what he's able to do, but the same can be said across on the opposite side of the occasion. STK Josh is going to be coming to this one. I mean, training with obviously the likes of Reaper and so on. I expect big things from him. He's going to have a very well-versed style, but as you can see, Von does a nice job of striking on the clinch, mixing the grappling in, and that's going to give somebody like Jorge Masvidal a little bit of problems. You know that he wants to get his work done on the feet, J-Dime. Taking him out of that comfortability zone could be key to success.
Yeah, this is smart, because if you watch the way Jorge loses, a lot of it's grappling. A lot of it is a dominant grappler, and Kelvin Gastelum is an underrated wrestler, Humble.
Oh!
Whoa! Oh my! Oh, Jorge said, "Forget your wrestling."
Yeah, he said, "Wrestle that." Fired that head kick up, and he has got him in all sorts of trouble. Humble pressed up against that cage, a little bit on shaky legs right now.
Chasing his opponent down. I like the little adjustment he made right there, though. He was trying to get out of that zone right there, Von. He's a very experienced fighter, you can tell, and he's got to be careful right now because Gastelum is going after him, and he's landed some big combinations, and got to mix it up, Cyrus, exactly like that.
Yeah, exactly right, brother. Exactly right. And it seemed to be what he was trying to go to early. Now he's got his opponent secured. He does have to hold this position. Slices across the top mount like it's nothing there, J-Dime, and was able to get the first denial. Of course, it's hard to hold it, but once it's on the mat, especially with somebody like Kelvin, you can stabilize out and really, really go to work. He's got some heavy hands.
Yeah, and people keep forgetting Kelvin, if I'm not mistaken, has 4-star boxing on his game too. So Kelvin may not be Jorge with the boxing, but Kelvin got hands and he can put people down, Humble.
Yeah, he's known for his hands. He had a few knockouts. Cyrus, I don't know if you remember when he had he was having a bit of a streak of knockouts and he was doing fantastic. And I'm sure he knocked out Bisping.
Yeah, bro, don't remind me. Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
I think that was in Singapore.
Knock out Bisping, you've got to have good hands. There's not many people Bisping now.
Yeah, exactly right, brother. Exactly right. But, obviously he's got the heart of any fighter out there, of course. I mean, as gritty as they come, the inner dog for certain in Kevin Gastelum. He's obviously, though, like you said, he has that box and he has the durability, but why necessarily get tested there if you don't need to? Take it to the mat. Just be careful not to get reversed, because this is a pretty dire position as well.
Yeah, definitely. And let's see, Josh is grappling. You know, he's got Masvidal at the moment, but he's in a dominant position. Let him get up right there to that side. He's going for the back, though. He's willing to engage, which is kind of the most interesting part of this J-Dime.
Yeah, it is.
End of the round. Okay.
It is the end of the round, but that round goes to Jorge. It was a close round, and Calvin started off well, but he ended up getting dropped. Jorge needed that moment, and a lot of fights are about big moments. That's what the judges remember, him getting dropped, Humble.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody remembers that Leon Edwards was winning three minutes of that fifth round against Nate Diaz until he gets knocked down, and Nate Diaz literally nearly finishes him. You know, no one remembers the 3 minutes before that. All that people remember is those moments where you really hurt your opponent. Need to get him out of there, essentially, Cyrus.
Yeah, they're definitely the ones that stick out in your mind for certain. This starting of the second round, though, wasting absolutely zero time getting the fight to the mat, but not able to secure the position. I think, look, Josh is gonna know what's coming his way now, right? He's gonna be camping the shit out of that, so, I mean, this is the opportunity to go up top.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, he's trying to as well, and he's gonna go to the body J-Dime as he takes one back to the head right there. He's got to be careful of that. I don't know if these guys are lagging a bit, which might have some effect on the takedown defense. I was about to say J-Dime, but he's on the mat now, which I don't know if that was because of the little lag they had.
I don't know why, but if I'm Jorge, I gotta keep my composure. I can't let it get frustrated. He shot multiple takedowns on me over and over again. I just gotta stick to my game plan, because once you lose composure, you start giving up positions. You start playing frustrated, Humble.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, you do, and we've seen it with Spooky. You know, he takes people down and kind of controls them. And with T-Soul, who did a fantastic job in that fight, you've got to try and get back to your feet. It's close.
Yeah, this is going to be... He's too good on escape. He is looking like he may get out, but, I mean, that tracking at times, it shoots up. I do think he's out of this one, but obviously he's going to get the reversal of position. Actually, ultimately ends up to be a good thing. I wouldn't be surprised to see him stick in this position, because you know if he gets back up there, Humble, the shot is coming, right? I mean, he's going to end up on the mat either way. Exactly.
So you've got to plan around that. You've got to use your movement. You can't be using straightforward movement. It's going in and out. He's going for the guillotine. Oh no, Kimura, maybe.
Yeah, Kimura. I believe this one is. This tracking is a little bit more on point, but the escape does seem to be still on. He seems to be calm and composed, but the tracking, bro, the tracking from Vaughn, I mean, he's doing really well on a pretty tough submission to get.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. It looks like, I didn't know anything about Vaughn before. It looks like he's a grappler. For sure a grappler, Humble.
Yeah, possibly as well. And the Kimura there, he needs it close to the back. He needs to get it right there. If you get it close to the back towards the spine, that's when you really put a torque on that. And Gastelum nearly got it to there, Cyrus, and would have put pressure on that arm and essentially snapped it.
Yeah, he's trying to bend it in all sorts of ways. I mean, right now, bro, this fight is actually a little bit more, in terms of the submission game, he's been doing a lot actively off the back. So it's actually ended up being a pretty nice position. Vaughn showing his pedigree on the mat here this evening, and that he's dangerous not only, with the takedowns and some of the ground and pounds, but those submissions as well. I am impressed by the way that Josh is staying composed through all of this, Jay, because this can be frustrating for some, but he seems to be incredibly composed.
Listen to me. He didn't put him in some interesting submissions as of late. I don't think that bulldog choke gonna get him, but just a threat of it. Just threaten the submission, and then sometimes you use those submissions just to find their pattern, just to learn their pattern. You may not even be trying to submit them, but it's just the chess game, basically, Humble.
Yeah, definitely. Just set up your ground and pound as well. As you've seen right there, you don't want them to think you're going for ground and pound every single time. You've got to make them think, oh, he's going to go for a choke, he's going to go for a bulldog choke, he's going to try and waste 30 seconds on the clock when I'm losing the fight. That's the sort of thinking that you've got to get your opponent to kind of embrace. And it seems like he's doing that and going for a different sort of strategy, Cyrus, as he's on the mat. You wouldn't expect it, essentially.
Yeah, and I mean, look, something interesting to note there. I actually still think the Masvidal got that round, bro. He got 15 significant strikes, he got a stun, he got a knockdown. There's a lot of submission attempts. And for all that hard work, I mean, we know how much the judges favour the damage. It's obviously good signs for Vaughn going forward, because he had a very dominant round outside of it. But he has to be wary, because we've already seen how dangerous Josh can be, Jay.
Yeah, especially with Jorge. That Jorge boxing. And he's back on the ground again right when the match started. He's back on the ground.
4 minutes and 42 seconds to work though, and that's the
Yeah.
important time, Cyrus. What I'd say right now is start a ticking clock down to the bottom. Can he hang on and survive? Essentially, if you think he might be winning the fight because of damage, this could be a battle of nutrition. This could be a battle. Oh, boy, he's got back up though, Cyrus. He's got up.
Yeah, I really don't know whether or not there's a little bit of connection issue, because obviously we're seeing that their stream is lagging a little bit. But that could be playing, in the favor of both guys. I'm just surprised that Vaughn is so committed to the takedown if they are experiencing those kind of connection issues, because it can be really difficult to play when there's a delay on the mat there, Jay. I mean, it's incredibly difficult. You can adjust on the feet, but the mat's a bit different.
I know for a fact. There's a connection issue at the same time. You know how I know?
What's that?
Another submission. Because I was monitoring the ping before we even started the stream, and it was jumping from high ones to twos. It kept jumping. That could have something to do with it, because it is hard to grapple with a bad ping, Humble.
Yeah, it's choppy, right? It's choppy. They're in the murky seas at the moment. The waves are high. These guys have got to kind of ride that one. And at the end of the day, this is part of the esport. You play people from all around the world, Cyrus. You've got to expect sometimes the connection not to be great. It can't let it affect your performance. And essentially, we can't control that. And it's something, players can try to get better at. But if not, you've got to let them play. You've got to let it play out, essentially, as long as it's playable.
Yeah, of course. I mean, as long as it's playable, right? Like you say, this fight in particular, from what I'm hearing in the back, is actually a short notice fight. It appears that Josh is actually a late replacement. So, I mean, especially on late replacements, it's a little bit more likely to happen, right? So it's one of those ones. These guys seem to be not allowing it to impact them too much. I mean, Vaughn definitely isn't allowing it to impact any single motherfucking thing that he decided he was bringing to the table. He has a game plan. He is staying committed to it, and I mean, there's a lot of time racking up in his favor.
It's interesting though. How are the judges scoring this?
That's the thing. It's such a close round. Like, there's dominant parts of each fight, but obviously, as we've said before, they judge the striking essentially in the big moments and that. And if you're thinking about the first 2 rounds, you've got to think of Masvidal. But who knows? I've seen worse decisions essentially going the other way. J-Dime.
I'm glad I'm not a judge, because I don't know what the criteria is. I think I know, but sometimes some backyard bullshit happens. I'm being honest.
Yeah, man, they are a little bit sus. I always say it's the most accurate part of the game on how wildly inconsistent those judges can be. But we may not even need to see one, because anytime this fight is on the feet, Josh is landing hands and massively adding up damage.
Jesus.
Bro, I like the movement of this guy. This guy looks pretty silky on the feet. Shame for him, he has not got to fully utilize it, but Jay, the damage every time he's up, it's there, bro. Seconds into that.
I'm over here thinking who won this fight, because Jorge may have won that round off that alone. Off that leg stun, he may have won. This is interesting. I don't know.
You might be right, and what the 9-1 underdog as an absolute showing and a blinder, Cyrus. I keep saying it in the betting lines. We have betting lines for a reason. And people go in there with a bit of knowledge and they think they know this person to put their channel points on it, and you see it come back and it bites them in the butt, because anybody that bets on Josh is getting paid 9 times what they put on. It's an absolute treat, Cyrus. That's exactly what you've got to do. Josh came on, he showed us he was no slouch.
Yeah, exactly right, man. I when it was on the feet especially, man, he was fucking dialed in, landing some damage.
We don't know if he's won.
He stayed close on the mat.
Yeah.
He did. The damage was enough there, Jay. The damage is what it's coming down to.
Yeah, that's what came down to, the damage, because it was control time versus damage, because let's not forget, he stunned him a couple of times, and that leg stun may have won him that 3rd round. I think it did. So it comes down to control versus damage. And on this game, damage is going to win, Humble.
Damage is going to win indeed. That's the criteria. So if you want to think about how to judge a fight, you go judge it on damage. So if you take me down, you keep me there for 4 minutes, and I get up and I rock you a few times or hurt you, then what damage have you landed on that floor compared to what I've landed on the feet? You're more rocked than I am. Coming out to the next round, your head's been hurt a bit more than I have. So it's essentially who goes to their corner worse off. should be losing the fight. And it's simple as that, Cyrus.
Yeah, exactly right, man. Exactly right. I mean, look, as much as you may be dominant in certain kind of areas and for certain sets of time, or even a good portions of that time, fights are won and lost by damage inflicted. That's why people tap, right? Because they don't want to lose their shit. They don't want that arm snapped in half. It's why people, get knocked out. It's because the consciousness is separated, bro, and the damage is what it's ultimately going to come down to. So great respect to stay composed for Josh and to look for those opportunities to get that damage off, because a lot of people would have succumbed to the threat of Von that he was presenting on the mat. People get frustrated, they make their attacks too obvious, but that wasn't the case here this evening, and as a result, Josh was able to eke out that victory. But Von quite clearly showing he's a threat, and that if you don't bring your best game, he is going to keep you on that mat and put you in all sorts of trouble. So with that fight in the books, my guys, we are going to be moving on to the featured fight of this prelim here on Primetime 67. It is going to be the one and only FSK Jamie Bucks up against Vex's own, what do you say, Pabst? Pabst? Is that how you said?
Pabst, I think, yeah. Pabst.
I think Pabst, yeah.
Pabst.
Yeah.
That's an interesting name. That's very.
By the way, guys, the betting lines are now open for this one as well. We've been getting people participating, and as Cyrus was saying right there, two fantastic competitors going at it right now. We've got Jamie Bucks, who's kind of a veteran. Cyrus is 6-5 at the moment, versus Pabst, who's 2-0 coming up. It's that classic matchup, Jay Diamond. It's that classic, the young guy coming up trying to take that guy's space. And we've seen people who have been veterans amongst this recently starting to starch people and prove a point that they belong in prime time and the other person doesn't.
But is it time for Jamie Bucks to pass the torch?
That's it. That's the question.
Is it time? Or is he going to tell the young fella, it's not your time yet?
Well,
we see it time and time again, Cyrus, don't we, in the actual UFC, and it's similar in this game. Like, people kind of dip in and out of performances, and the young guy can kind of come along and go 5-6-0 in prime time and then get a title shot that necessarily nobody thought would.
Yeah, exactly right, man. Look, like I said.
Oh, I love it. Let's go. Let's go.
Give them a little bow after it, bro. But
back to business.
Look, this is a sport in particular where the kind of young eats the old, right? And your reactions, your timing, everything can start to go down the pan. Jamie Buck's still a young guy in and of himself, still very dialed in, but definitely a bit more seasoned when it comes to the overall scenes. But Paps, man, picking the good old Sugar Sean O'Malley, believes that he is the next wave and quite clearly brings the next level of confidence to the cage here this evening, not backing up, already landing big amounts of damage on his opponent.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. Marlon was doing something at the beginning of the match that I liked. He was throwing some leg kicks. Ooh, he got to close the distance. He got very powerful. There we go. He got to throw that on Sean Humble.
I don't know if he got decreased in his stats, but nerfed essentially, but he had 99 power or kick speed, I think it was, Cyrus. I can't quite remember, but I think he's one of the only guys with complete kick power. Just his body type versus Sean, in my opinion, Sean's almost like a McGregor type with the length. As soon as his stats start upgrade, he's going to become one of the best characters to use in the UFC.
Oh, certainly, man, certainly. Obviously already his reach advantage, especially with the legs, right? It causes so many problems for his opponents, and when you've got the timing of somebody like Babs, man, he's looking dangerous, Jay.
Yeah, but Marlon Moraes is having a little. He's having some success with the leg kicks, and I think for Marlon Moraes, he's good. Like, his stats are almost perfect with the kick power and all that. He just don't have it. He don't have a chin or cardio. Have no health stats, but he got everything else, Humble.
And that's the thing. Like, it's going to take O'Malley less to kind of penetrate that fortress. He's going to have to try and get through those health stats, and it's going to take Sean O'Malley a lot less because of those health stats, essentially. What I'm seeing right now is that leg kick is firing, and he's willing to take the leg kick to kind of land some shots to the head. Cyrus, he seems to trying to really test that head health.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I have to say, though, what an adjustment by Jamie Bucks getting this takedown. He went for it earlier. There was a big miss, set it up correctly the second time around, and this may be one of the more underrated areas of this man's game. He is incredibly dangerous in all elements of mixed martial arts, but when it hits the mat, he has some dangerous tricks up his sleeve. Not a lot of time to work in this one, but definitely a good mix-up to keep something in the back of Pap's mind going into that second round, Jay, because he doesn't want him coming forward in that same way. He doesn't want him to have that same confidence that that forward pressure isn't going to be met with that takedown or big shot.
Yeah, that was a smart takedown because it looked like Sean was starting to get hot with the hands a little bit. Yeah, he was landing them leg kicks, but Sean was starting to piece him up a little bit, Cyrus.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely. Like I said, he was catching him when he was trying to move those hands. He did not like the way it was going to so shift that momentum, but the reversal at the end going to give him a little bit of confidence. If I know anything about the Vex camp, they do not lack in one thing at all. They're humble, and that is confidence, my man. They believe in their abilities and their opportunities presented to get themselves to the top of this esporting platform. So he's going to come out here, take this second round by storm. And I know that these guys are highlight style fighters, so be aware of the danger that they present. Just like that, my man. Ooh. Not gonna take a second. Do not blink when Vex Pabst or Marlon Moraes in the hand of Jamie Buck steps into this cage.
Yeah, and 90% of fighting is confidence. People need to understand that. When you're a confident person, you're a confident fighter, it's really difficult to stop you, because when someone's determined on something, they'll do everything to make it succeed themselves, and that's exactly what you need. Nice work right there, though. And I was going to say, he's getting more confident in air right now. He's starting to land his shots when he needs to, and he's really putting the pressure onto Jamie Buck's J Dime.
Oh!
Yeah, but I was about to say, Marlon Moraes is starting to get his legs low. Starting to get, but the thing is about Sean can switch stance at an effective rate, so it really don't affect nothing, Cyrus.
Yeah, exactly right, man, exactly right. He may not be able to throw leg kicks with that right leg as more because he does not want to get it checked, but now he's just switching stances. It changes the angles ever so slightly, which may change up some of the combinations and the way that they are going to land, but I know that Pabst is going to be aware of that. It's stuff like that, bro. It's stuff like that. Any missed opportunities or missed kind of strikes, they're humble, you know, are going to be met with absolutely hellacious combinations, as we can see.
Yeah, and something I do as well is I start a lot of my fights in my worst stance. I like to fight in the stance that is orthodox. And if I have a southpaw fighter, I'll start in southpaw to see what they've got. And if they're a leg kicker, I'll let them kick my leg for the head health and the head damage to go into that second round, and then switch stance into my favorite stance, and obviously then try and finish off the round. And we're seeing a beautiful kind of change up right now from Pabst, because he looks like he's in control with the.
Never mind, Jamie,
what did he say?
Hold my beer.
Curse.
Every time he talks, something bad happens. He says, "Yeah, he's doing real good." Next thing you know, he gets dropped.
What an omen.
That's fucking brilliant, bro. Well, he has recovered right here. Jamie Bucks has quite clearly been chipping away, working that right leg, working the left leg a lot. Of the flurries have come the way of Pabst, right? But that steady pace, J Dime, has been going the way of Marlon Moraes. He just has to be careful that the volume doesn't overwhelm him.
Oh, wow.
Ooh. Yeah, he's fighting, though.
Yeah.
But, like, Sean's trying to overwhelm him a little bit.
Yeah, he's doing exactly that. And one of the key positions, I don't know if he notices, and I don't want to kind of give away too much, but he's having real success when he's pushing Jamie Bucks behind this line way against that fence there. And that's the key. When he's behind this line here, he usually does well. And I'm going to eat my words on Cyrus. Oh, no.
Almost, brother. Almost. Like I said, especially when these two guys are stepping in the cage, you know it is going to be down to the wire. These guys are not lacking in confidence. They do not have any problems backing themselves or their abilities, and you can see them fully committing to their techniques. And as a result, a spin kick to end round 2. Humble. What a fight this is. Stuns on both sides of the equation, damage all across this cage, and so many different tools being displayed.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just been a fantastic fight so far. You don't know who's going to win at one point, and I'm loving the attack and the pressure from Sean O'Malley, but there's glimpses of just a knockout coming from Moraes, especially with the kick, speed, and power, J Dime. That can happen at any moment.
Yeah, you're right. But nice. I would like to see the scorecards, because I have Marlon up right now, just because he got that stun at the end. I don't know if Sean had a stun, but he got that stun at the end. It all depends. It comes down to damage against Cyrus.
It really does. I know Sean's definitely got a stun in the fight, whether or not it was at the beginning of the second round or end of the first. I'm not too sure, but I believe it's a very closely contested bout, but it could go either way, brother. It really, really could. I think that this mix-up from Jamie Bucks right here in the third and final round is going to be potentially a massively impactful one there, Humble, because obviously the fight on the feet did go a little bit his way towards the end of that second round with the big stun. So now taking his opponent to where they quite clearly feel less comfortable, I think is only going to pay dividends and allows him to continue to rack up time in his favor. Never mind.
This ain't going the distance. This fight is not going the distance. These two are going to knock each other. One of these guys is going to knock each other out in this round. It's been too close. In my opinion, Sean O'Malley might win the second round. So we've got two people on the commentary team who think completely different. If I'm one of these guys, I'm not letting this go the distance. There's no way I'm getting robbed doing something that I think I'm winning, essentially, J-Dime.
Yeah, but there's a reason why we're not the judges. Because
but we are competitors. We are competitors, J-Dime, so we know what it's like to kind of compete. And if you're in this fight, you don't know.
Yeah, you don't. So don't leave it to the judges. You got to win so convincingly this round. Put him down. Have a little bit of a sense of urgency, Cyrus.
Yeah, 100%, man. At a certain point, I imagine we're about to see it as we hit this 2-minute mark. These guys are really going to let go because they know that their stamina can hold the test of time at the end of this round. So why not go balls to the walls? Look to separate him from his consciousness. It looks like O'Malley's been landing a lot, but...
Technical brawling right now, coming out of the woodwork. These guys have listened to the commentary. They understand what's at stake. Well, there's nothing worse. He's going to get uppercut. There's nothing worse than putting a half-assed performance in and getting beat when you think you've won, Cyrus. You know that. You don't want that.
Yeah, exactly right. Nice denial instantly on the takedown. This is not good for Sugar Sean O'Malley, although he does stop that crucifix. Didn't even know that Rice had a crucifix, but fair play, bro. Yeah, crane kick. He's coming out with all sorts of tools. Like I said, Jamie Bucks is a dangerous man, J-Dime, as he tries to get the ground and pound for the finish.
Somebody got to finish this fight. If this go to decision, I'm going to be mad because this is such a banger of a fight.
Yeah, it really is.
It's tough that one of these guys are going to lose on decision. That's the tough part. Like, you know.
Maybe not. Maybe over. It's over.
These things.
I predict these things. God damn, bro. Marlon Moraes, FSK's very own Jamie Bucks, getting the job done in a tough fought battle, J-Dime. It was down to the wire. We didn't think we were going to see the judges here this evening in this fight, and he took them out of it, bro, as you see Sugar Sean O'Malley go limp on that canvas.
That hurt me to watch. I'm not going to lie to you. That just hurt seeing Sean go out like that. But at the same time, that was such a banger of the fight. And I think they was listening to the commentary because they started going balls to the wall. Sense of urgency. Like I said, Humble.
It needs to be said sometimes. There's nothing worse than when you kind of, you know, when you 18-20.
I was right. I said
Marlon. He shouldn't have went for it. He should have listened. I'm sorry, guys.
He went for it and won it anyway, bro. He was up on the judges. That was a good ass fight, man. I thought it was very close. I think all of those rounds were very, very close. But ultimately, Jamie Bucks was quite clearly doing just enough in each round to get ahead, at least in the eyes of the judges. And ultimately, in that third and final round, he made the adjustments that we've spoken so many times about to get his hand raised, getting his opponent to the ground, going into the stacked guard, and finishing his opponent there, which you don't see a massive amount of times in these sorts of circuits. So much respect to that man. He's a vet for a reason, and he set us beautifully up for the first fight of the main card. Primetime 67 is now reaching our main card. We have killer after killer, like we have already there, Humble. BFAP Slick up against TMF's very own Chinsworth. You know the entertaining styles these guys bring, the overall talents that they have from their striking to their grappling. A stylistic matchup down in women's flyweight. It's going to be a fun one, brother.
Yeah, 100%. And Chinsworth is coming into this fight currently 4-1 in this season. That's a great record to have, J-Dime. He's going to be fighting a tough competitor with a positive record in Slick as well, a 5-3. So you can see these guys who are upper in the division starting to emerge now in these main cards, and they're going to be kicking it off with an absolute banger coming up.
And then think about this. Chinsworth is 4-1 right now. A few more wins, you're looking at him for a title shot. Am I lying?
Exactly. That's exactly what's going to happen. It goes 5-1 out. Like you can't. It's tough competition no matter what in prime time, and you fight one guy who's completely different from the next every single fight. And they're the best guys in the world. Make no mistake about it. There's top competitors all through these divisions, and 4-1. You're going to start getting those guys right now. Is it the limit right now, Cyrus? Is it those guys that he's going to be fighting, or is he going to push through that test?
This is the thing. These guys, have been around this scene. They are quite literally two of the original members of this league. They've been with us from day dot, and I have seen them grow in their skills and, you know, kind of all-round abilities, their MMA knowledge from that time, and it's been dramatic in terms of the way that they have adjusted their skill sets, how deeply their knowledge on this game goes. I'm honestly almost at a loss for words as we head into this first one. I'm excited to see it. 2 calves, another little bit of an unusual one, bit of signs being respect being shown, and they're going to start up very quickly, trust.
Oh my gosh. It looks like Ivan Drago. That's what it looks like.
What I'm thinking,
With the female version of Andrago. It's getting pieced up by Misha Tate's little sister right now. It looks nice work coming in the inside. Beautiful go back. Slick is trying to do a really good job of trying to catch his opponent coming in, J-Dan.
I'm not gonna lie to you, they're trading, but I'm so confused. People don't choose the women's weight class on prime time and just to get a calf. Like, I don't know to call this creative. I have no words for that, Cyrus.
I can tell you that it's actually Slick's favorite weight class, and Chinsworth was actually more than happy to oblige him. Right now, though, Chinsworth is walking into shot after shot. He is getting absolutely hypnotized by the unorthodox array that Slick brings to the table. Sitting down again, Jay.
He's getting victimized. Chinsworth is getting his chin cleaned up. Like, he's getting humble.
We talked about like he's got a test in front of him right now. You know, 4-1 coming into prime time. You fight top guys. The guy's fighting is number 11 at the moment in the prime time division, and he's number 14. So he's trying to come in and try to break into that top 10 essentially. And he's come into a killer right now, and that's exactly what you've got to do. You've got to let him know, put him on notice, Cyrus.
Yeah, and look, honestly, what knowing these guys as well as I do, I can tell you that Chinsworth right now is a little frustrated by the. Like I said, the unorthodox combinations, the strikes that is coming his way, and when that chin is cracked, he needs to get on that bike. He needs to survive and try and take this fight in a little bit later, allow his opponent to gas out those arms a little bit, because this is madness, Jay. He's just kind of there for the wood chipper to continue to chip away.
Right now, I think he need to keep his composure. He done lost the first round, but he's getting beat like he stole something right now, Humble.
Yeah, he's getting his head peppered. The boxer's coming from one side, and that is the slickness of Slick, and he's catching him at will essentially with some beautiful combinations. Ivan Drago does not look like Ivan Drago, Cyrus.
Yeah, no, he look, if she dies, she dies.
She dies.
He is trying all he can. He seems to be settling in a little bit now, feinting out that jab. He knows the Slick call previously. Predominantly a grappler, has been working with the likes of Trixie, the pound for pound GOAT, if you will, or the kind of future Hall of Famer. But he is quite clearly showing that his adjustments to his striking have gone a long way, peppering all sorts of techniques from the kicks to the boxing combinations. But that's what Chinsworth does well. He counters phenomenally. He just needs to get back into a little bit more of an evasive mindset to try and be a little bit more elusive and not eat all of these shots square on that big chin.
Yeah, oh my God. I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
Oh my God, bro.
I was about to say, no. Oh, and he taught it. This match is not over, okay?
I love that. That's like,
it's not over,
respect me. That's like, you've got to respect me. No, that's exactly what that is. You've got to respect me. I've come at this fight right now, and these two guys are doing really well. But, you know, Slick is demanding the respect, and can he pull it out of the bag, J Diamond comeback?
Listen to me. The match isn't over because he may have got his ass beat like he stole something in the first round, but he was able to go to his corner. And let's see what adjustments he made going into the second, Cyrus.
He's going to have to make some big ones. He doesn't want to get too close. Even after that bow, I would continue to back the fuck up, man. Try and make his opponent overextend. Oh my fucking God. The combination from hell lands square on his opponent's dome. That's going to be a little bit of a better start for him, Humble, but he needs to keep that momentum and not get clipped by the boxing of Slick.
Yeah, exactly that. And we were thinking Rocky while he was thinking Karate Kid as he landed that combination right there. It was beautiful. The axe kick came out of nowhere. Some nice taekwondo there, J-Dan.
Yeah, that was a nice axe kick. That was oh my gosh. The axe kick may have been in vain for nothing, because if he gets put down here, I don't know if he's getting up, Cyrus.
You ever seen Kickboxer before, bro? He got absolutely blasted for the first couple of rounds, only to come back even stronger. We will see if Chinsworth is able to rise to the occasion here this evening. He is getting a bit of a stamina advantage, although that big chin cannot take too much more damage.
Nice work down the pipe.
Ooh,
Oh,
nice.
catches him with that lead hook right there. The eyeball's starting to swell right now. The cheek is very sore. It's going to need some Vaseline if it goes back to the corner. I've got a feeling these two are going to hunt for the finish. Chinsworth, for me, starting to warm into the fight, J-Dime.
Chinsworth is starting the fight a lot better than the first round. That's what I said. It's not over. And if he could get a drop or a few stunts here, he could steal this round and be 1-1 going to the third.
I'm not joking you when I say that me and Chinsworth have well in excess of 800 fights.
800?
Yeah. We have a lot of fights, bro. He does get better. I can't tell you how many times I asked him in round 1. He came back to absolutely destroy me across the course of a 3 to 5 round fight. So, like you say, he is definitely not out of this. But I am not Slick Colt, and Slick Colt is not I. Considerably better, is he? As he's trying to get unloading on combinations. But look at Chinsworth edging back into it, Humble.
Nice work. Chinsworth is showing his worth right now. You know, he's fantastic. I think his name is actually implying that he's got a fantastic chin, and you know you can see that right now because he got clipped in that first sort of round, and he's coming back and he's doing a fantastic job of. I shouldn't say anything because I'll just curse him, Cyrus. It shouldn't be from me. You should say that, Cyrus.
we shall see, my brother. We shall see. Slick Colt entering with that elbow, being a little bit unorthodox. I do feel like he's kind of fallen off his rhythm just a little bit as Chinsworth is coming into his own, mixing in lunging strikes as he so beautifully does. His head health is blinking eternally though, Jay, and that just means that even though Slick doesn't have stamina, it's only gonna take 1 or 2, my man. What a land.
He had momentum until he did that. But I got to see how this is scored because it may be 1-1 going into the third. I don't know.
Well, that's fine, Humble.
Yeah, if I have a little bit of a. So for me, like the form one coming at this, we talked about just stepping up to fight big competition. You know, you're fighting a number 11 seed in the division, and this at this point in the season as well, it's truly earned if you're in the top 15 at the moment. It means you've been consistent. It means you've been fighting a lot of different people, and it means you earn where you belong at this moment in the season. And you know, he's coming along right now, and I think the energy kind of got to him to start with, but he's edged himself back into the fight. The question is it too late? Is it too little too late, Cyrus, before you can try and turn it around?
Yeah, well, I actually think he got that last round he did show us the scorecards for a moment. He got 2 knockdowns as opposed to the one on the side of Slick Colt, but that first round definitely went against him, right? For potentially a 10-8. So Slick Colt may be mixing in the grappling now, and he is the bot master on the mat. He will take you down, and he will make your night a whole heap of trouble. Slick able to get that one, and this is really where he excels. So after so much success on the feet and some adversity in the second, Jay, a smart move for him to get down to the mat, especially with so much time to work.
That's smart, because if it's 1-1, you could put him on a mat and keep him there, do some damage, get some control time, and steal it around. And then by far, he'd win the fight, Humble.
Yeah, that could be it. And, you know, it's such a close fight right now. And you've got to, we talk about top competitors, the reason certain people are top competitors because they can switch it up. But this is a good position for Chinsworth. He needs to utilize and capitalize on this. He can't rush into anything.
Definitely cannot. He did get the reversal. He's now going to try and work his way back to his feet, but that was a little bit rushed, yeah, brother. And I think that may have just been a little bit of frustration. He knows his best opportunities on the feet. He knew the momentum he was having, not taking his time, and as a result, he's now in a considerably worse position. J-Dime, this is not where you want to be under Slick.
Yeah, exactly. You said it right. And Slick is probably going to win this round if he just lays on him right here. He may have just stole the round. And he's doing damage too with it, Humble.
Yeah, you gotta do that damage as well. The question that he's got is can Chinsworth capitalize on the stamina? There you go. That's exactly what he needs to do. Block a transition. He can't be obvious, and that's the problem. He can't be obvious. He's got to take his time. If he needs to spend 30 seconds here, he needs to spend 30 seconds here, and that's the key. There we go. That's what you need.
Yeah, now he's back to the feet. He's not out of the woods, and that's the interesting thing, right? He's got to make sure that he doesn't allow that frustration from the takedown to settle in. Be aware that there's only 1 minute 30, but also be a little bit reserved about the way that he approaches those shots because he knows that the damage is there from Slick Colt.
Slick.
Pitching a shutout in this third, Jay.
Yeah, this third, he knew it was 1-1. And he's not playing no games. He's not trying to leave it to the judges. Even though there's less than a minute left, I think this is going to be a finish.
Oh, nice. For the unorthodox striking right there. And we've seen it though. Like grapplers can take people down and they use that as a weapon to set up their strikes on the feet. You know, it's you worry about getting held on the ground a bit too much sometimes. And that's exactly what Slick has done to Chinsworth. Essentially, he's mixed up the grappling, and when they've got back to the feet, he started catching him just as the momentum started to switch.
Yeah.
He put a halt in that and put a nail in that coffin.
Yeah, exactly right. He is going to throw down to the wire, though. May try and get one last little block break in there or one big shot. Oh my, you never know, bro. You never know in those situations, but goddamn, what a fight. I said at the very beginning of this card, this was one of my standout ones, and that was the exact reason, my guys. They came with all of the action, beautiful destruction. I think perfectly encapsulates the sorts of martial arts that we've seen in that one right there. I think the Slick may have got it done, but we're about to find out, Humble. Jay, this was a match.
100%, Jay. And you know, to be honest, I can't remember most of that fight now. I'm thinking about like who won that fight, Jay Dan, but I remember you scoring that one, and I think that's exactly who you scored it for.
Yeah, it was 1-1 in my opinion, and he dominated that third round. He needed that because Ivan Drago, the female version, was starting to take over in that second round.
Yeah.
And was starting to get the momentum back, and he just snatched it right from him.
Helen Drago did not like that.
Helen?
Helen Drago, yeah. That was a 30-27, but that must be off the weight of that first round, right? There was a metric fucking ton of damage done on Chinsworth. Just the fact that he was able to make it out that round and have all of the successes that he did in the second one shows you why that man was 4-1. He does not go out. There is no quit in his heart, and yeah, I honestly just can't wait to see these guys back at it. Always fun ones to call, and I mean, you guys get to witness right there on why that's the case, but they set us up beautifully. Gonna throw it to you, Mr. Humble Dink. We have the one and only Moolah TT up against Ripe MMA in the next one. These guys are going to be in the lightweight division. These guys have now been around this scene for a little while on the PlayStation things. I'm fairly sure that you're as familiar with them as I am. They bring interesting styles to the table, and I think that they have a lot of tools to match up very well against each other going into this one.
Yeah, definitely. Ripe MMA is a veteran at the moment of this season. He's currently ranked number 9 in the PlayStation division, so he's right up there. He's fought some of the elite competitors, you know, in this division, and he's come out on the other side victorious. You know, he's 8-4 at the moment. That's a great record. He's going to want to be pushing himself right up there in amongst it, fighting for a spot for that title. And we've got Moolah coming up. He's been a top 10 competitor, but he's having a bit of adversity, Jay Diamond. Now he's trying to pull that back to 6-4. He's trying to pull that back essentially up, and he's wanting to move in the top 15.
Yeah, and if he's able to do that very briefly, right? He you know, especially in a position like this, it's a very, very visible spot in the card, right, Humble? And he has a big opportunity. Number 9, he's going up against. If he's able to get this, it propels him forward. If he's able to do it with something like a first or second round finish there, J-Dime, and gets that finish over his opponent, then you know, that's massive, man. He could be a fight or two away from that belt.
Yeah, and he's not the only one. There's a lot of people who have played really well this season who are like a fight or two away from a title shot. And like that's why these matches are important, not to let the pressure get to you, because one fight can change everything. Say you're 4-1. If you lose that match, you may have been in the title picture, you get that one win. If you lose, now you're back at the beginning again.
Yeah, exactly. You're completely right, Jadam. Like, one win can change the directory and course, and it's keeping the best players in the world always lose. It's just they can keep a consistent amount of winning, a winning record essentially. So they can make a 10-0 run, they can make an 8-0 run before they lose a couple in a row or lose one in a row, and that's 8-0, 9-0 run. That's what gets you straight into those title pitches and into those spots essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Consistency is absolutely key. Obviously, it's great to have a name and come out there with fantastic standout performances, but ultimately you've got to win in order to move yourself forwards. And these guys right here are no strangers to getting their hands raised in this octagon. They're starting this fight out actively. He is working the jab to the body and to the head, as you would expect to see from Ripe MMA, and Moolah using those kicks relatively well with some nice crispy boxing combinations, Jay. They're already showing high danger is very, very much on the cards from this get-go.
Yeah, and Ripe MMA, If I'm him, I'm going to use the boxing of Dustin, and if I'm Moolah, I'm going to throw them teep kicks. Keep him away. Keep him at my range. Maybe mix up some clinches if you get close to me. Just keep him where I want him, Humble.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Moolah's from a top camp as well. We've got to talk about that. We don't talk about camps
Team
enough
Truth.
sometimes, but TT's a fantastic camp, and he's in that camp training with great players. And one thing I do like about Moolah, and he fights unorthodox sometimes, and by unorthodox I mean he mixes up some of the cheese nicely, and you have to, if you're using those characters, the John Joneses, the Oliveras, you've got to be able to mix up your sort of dirty combination, Cyrus, so your opponent gives you respect. Otherwise you're going to get boxed to high heaven.
Yeah, there's a reason that John Jones literally pokes everybody in the eye, bro. Like, you know, it's part of his style, right? You've got you mix a little bit in, right? You mix a little bit in, but obviously it's about doing it right. And obviously the TT boys, as you saw earlier on, Bon quite clearly has a wrestling pedigree, and those are the caliber of grapplers that he has trained with, and we've seen it in the past. Moolah, man, when he gets you on the mat, he is dangerous absolutely everywhere, from subs to ground and pound. He can make your life a whole heap of, well, you can make it a misery, brother. You can make it a misery, but I am always a fan, Jay, of the work that Ripe MMA is able to do on the feet. He, more often than not, is able to find big consecutive shots to get his opponents out.
I still can't believe you justified eye poking. I can't believe you just justified that.
I didn't justify it, bro. I explained it. That's all I'm saying. He does it. It's a
salesman, can you? He sold the eye poke to us. He literally sold it because I believed in it. I was about to walk around with t-shirts, Cyrus. The eye poking competition. Well, this fight's been a great fight anyway. We'll get back to that. And it is, you know, the ground game, as you would say, the unorthodoxness, all this. That, I think Moolah's doing a fantastic job at the moment. Ripe MMA is yet to find his kind of rhythm yet, Jedi.
Yeah, and Oliveira's doing a good job keeping him at his range. Like, you got to keep Dustin away from you, because Dustin got them 5-star boxing combos, and that's really scary. Like, I don't want to play Dustin personally, Cyrus.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Bro, you know, in the last 30 seconds, especially against somebody like Dustin, this is always where super danger is present, and I think that's why Moolah went for that shot. He knew that Ripe MMA was about to unload with some unholy combinations. We know the recovery from Dustin Poirier is absolutely fantastic, and of course that power does translate, but if you can get him a little bit tired, then that can potentially set up submissions from the man that has the most submissions in MMA, in UFC history there, Jay.
Yeah, but y'all see them stats? It's a really close round, but I would give it to Charles Oliveira because of the 2 takedowns, Cyrus.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Very, very close, but the takedowns may have been the separating factor in that one. They're going to start this one out very quickly, though, Humble. And as you can see, Moolah is more than content to play this outside game, poke away, and try to chip away at Ripe in any way he can.
Nice.
He's not allowed to kind of play the game of Ripe. If he starts playing the game of Ripe MMA, he's going to end up getting pressure box essentially, and you can't kind of box against a guy who's coming forward and landing good combination. So he's got to keep doing this. He's got to keep prodding and poking. And he's going to be nasty on the ground. When he's on bottom, he has to utilize the elbows, he has to utilize the sweeps and the rubber guard essentially, Jedi.
Yeah, you predicted. You said the rubber guard, and he put him in the rubber guard. Like, Mystic Mac, Humble, is that you?
He's already in it.
Oh,
Well, honestly, rubber guard is one of my favorite techniques, but enough of that. He utilized it perfectly to get into top mount, already raining down some ground and pound. Moolah is absolutely on point in his grappling, gets the denial, goes back to it there, Humble, but the defense from Ripe MMA standing the test of time, and it was vital that he did defend those shots, brother.
Yeah, 100%. And even if you go back to the rubber guard slightly, you know, when you're putting the rubber guard and someone controls your top posture in your arms, if you imagine yourself as a table on all fours, if you take away 2 legs, you can't defend one way, so that's how he gets that sweep right there, and that's where you've got to be dangerous with Charles, because he's like a ball. When you think you've got him on the mat, when you think you've got his hips controlled, essentially he'll roll you and turn you and misdirect you, and that's what he's fantastic at.
Now, this is good work. You know, the threatening of the submissions, though, Jay, I think that just even that in itself is great moves. I mean, just putting it out there, making your opponent defend it so that you can get that back take when you catch them slacking a little.
Oh, you know why I think he's doing this? Because the time resets every time he does this.
Oh, does it really? I thought he actually had to get it in.
All right. Oh no, denial. It don't reset, humble. Doesn't? Oh, it don't. Oh,
Sometimes,
oh,
sometimes it depends on
oh.
whether they
I know.
miss
I
the
know.
fake
Resets
crit
on the
or they
sprawl.
miss the.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on.
Oh, I know it resets on the down sprawl.
Right.
From
Well, you know what the thing is though? He's back to his feet now, and all of that's going to have frustrated Ripe MMA to a certain point, and you can see him now trying to, not necessarily rush it, but turning up a little bit, and that may
nice.
go in his favor,
Nice.
or he could walk into something humble.
Yeah, he's throwing 3-piece or 4-piece combinations now. He's trying to catch Moolah
nice.
when Moolah's trying to counter him. Essentially, he's kind of picked up on something, or he's just trying something, and it's kind of working in his favor at the moment. But he's got to be careful because Moolah is going to use that against him
Nice.
and make him frustrated.
Yeah, that was a nice clinch. That was a nice clinch. If he keep landing them dirty knees in the clinch, bro, he can do some more damage to Dustin's already messed up eye. It looks like.
Even the turn on that clinch though, he turned himself.
Yeah, it's hard to get
position.
out with the turn.
He turned himself to the space was behind him, and then let his opponent go after he'd done some damage, Cyrus. And that's high level IQ right there.
Yeah, it very, very, very much is. And we spoke about this before, right? These guys are veterans now within the scene. And especially, we mentioned from Mueller's side of things, he really does mix it all together so well that can sometimes offset the rhythm of his opponents and really frustrate them. But I just don't think Ripe MMA is that guy to fall suspect to a little bit too much frustration. It almost like it fills him, but he just really has to tune into those takedowns because Mueller is timing them well, Jay. And he when he gets them down, he's making him work so hard to try and survive or get back up.
Yeah, and he's playing the game he should. He's not playing Dustin game. He's not boxing with Dustin. He's putting him where he wants to. He's executing his game plan flawlessly, humble.
Yeah, exactly. And just want to point out some factors in the fight so far. He's been on the feet with him and he's done it. I believe he's outstruck him slightly. He's kind of done a good job. And there's certain periods of time when Red look good, but for most part of it, he's been dirty. When he's being put down on his back, he's then reversed the position and got on top. And now when he's on top, he's threatening submissions and also controlling him. So where is Ripe MMA feeling like he's confident at the moment? And I'd answer that for you, Cyrus. It's actually nowhere at the moment, but he needs to find somewhere. He needs to dig deep.
Yeah, he really does. And I honestly believe his best opportunity here is, of course, if he finds himself in top, then great. But back to that feet and back to what got him to the dance, man. Get confident in his hands, look for those openings, take it, kind of actively take his time. But easier said than done, Jay, when you've got somebody like this man right here stuck to you like glue, absolutely squeezing the life out of you.
You have the greatest submission specialist in UFC history on your back right now. It's not an easy place to be, humble.
It's not at all. But this is where he's good, right? He jumped on that back. How many times we've seen Charles do that? I'm pretty sure he just did it against Gaethje as well. He jumped on his back and then kind of got the choke, I believe. He does that against most people. I think it was Poirier as well, something similar. He's brilliant at getting it.
Bro, sorry to throw it out there, but as we approach the 2-minute mark, did you just say that I want eye pokes in the Olympics?
Eye poking Olympics.
I loved it. But this is big for Ripe MMA. He hasn't got a lot of stamina, so he has to be wary of the submissions that could come his way. But there's a minute 40 to work, and either guy is still well within kind of finishing range here.
Ooh.
Yeah, nice work right then. He's I'd like to see a bit more from Ripe at the moment. It's brilliant control from Mueller. He's really trying to frustrate him, and we know exactly what he's trying to do. But for me, Ripe's got to take some chances, J-Dime.
So my problem with that is how he gonna take some chances right now? Right when he's right here, what chance is he about to take? Does he have a knee bar?
He's got to act first. You can't be proactive and try and deny your opponent. You've got to act first. You've got to try to bamboozle him, essentially. If you don't do anything, you miss every chance you don't throw.
Well,
I just can't believe you.
I'm not saying it's gonna work. I'm not saying it's gonna work, by the way.
What chance is he about to take right here?
Yeah, he is in absolutely dire water. This is going into a submission that is likely not to be got, but there's 10 seconds left, and I can imagine we're staying here for that full time. Great fight. I think Mueller's got the job done. I could be wrong. We've seen stranger things happen, but I think that was a really, really technical performance from him, in all honesty. He mixed it together very, very well, and put his opponent in a lot of dire positions there, Humble. A lot of dire positions, from whether it be on the feet or on the mat.
Yeah, brilliant. It was brilliant. If I was I'd be slightly frustrated with that fight, essentially. Maybe not my performance, but even my performance, because he's better than that, and he could do better. But what a fantastic sort of showing and IQ from Mueller. I like to see him win the fight by finish, just to kind of push himself back up the rankings. He's fighting a top guy within that decision, and maybe he just thought, J-Dime, I'll win the fight, and that's all I need to do, essentially.
He did what he had to do. Sometimes you can't get the finish. Sometimes you're okay getting a comfortable decision, Humble. Like, finish ain't everything.
We don't know yet. There we go. Now we know.
No.
Humble. Stevie Wonder knew that. He knew that.
I mean, Jay, we've seen a fight that we literally thought that was, and the guy had won, and we've seen it go the other way. So, anything can happen. Until we see their hand raised, we don't know.
Well, my guys, we are on to another fight that I said to keep your eye out for. This is one of those don't blink sort of fights up ahead of us. You're going to be having B3 Big E, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy that brings all the action to the cage. The B3 boys like to bully their opponents in that cage, bring in all sorts of madness and forward pressure to make you feel uncomfortable. Really, really kind of separates the boys from men, so to speak. But across from him is a former champion, J-Dime, in KM Caliber, a man that was absolutely adamant he wanted to fight here tonight twice. He wants to be PrimeTime's Hamzat Chimaev, but not able to happen, only the once, but he has his work cut out for him, my man. Although he may be the former champion, these young guns up and coming, especially when you think about the type of pressure that Big E brings.
Listen to me. Caliber said he want to fight twice.
He wants to fight all the time, bro. He'd fight every fight if he could, trust.
Caliber, I love you. And you was just the champion, not... A few weeks ago, he was just the champion, but come on, twice in a day. Why do you want to fight twice? Who are you going to fight twice?
I mean, if you think about it, like, let's talk about the record of these guys. Let's talk about the position and the card as well, J-Dime. Number 5 in the world is Caliber, but interesting record, right? He's 12-10, right? Now, that sounds like he's had a lot of losses, but who's he had the losses against? Trixie, twice, Fadinator. These guys are fighting the top competitors week in, week out. Dirty Dave, those guys are amazing. And then he's got wins on them as well, so it kind of balances out. They beat each other all the time, and that's why he's number 5. And tonight he's fighting a top competitor who's coming in at 5-3, who's currently ranked number 15th, trying to push his way into the top 10. Cyrus, and it could be a big change of guards right now.
No, it really, really could. Like you say, the record for them doesn't necessarily speak volumes to the body of work that is behind them. Not all wins and not all losses are equal, and these competitors are truly standout performers. You can see them going out there with a little bit out there picks, man. Lyoto Machida up against Anderson. Motherfucking Silver. This one's going to be a fun one, J-Dime. They're not wasting any time getting straight to it, but it's KM Caliber that's pressing, trying to make the B3 faithful take a couple of back steps.
Did y'all forget that Lyoto Machida of his is legendary? Did y'all forget what he did a few weeks ago?
Never, bro.
Like, did y'all... I'm just making sure, because y'all think he just playing around picking Lyoto. No, this is really his guy right now, Humble.
Yeah, he had a fight. I believe he was the belt with Lyoto Machida, if I'm correct. Against or it might not be in the belt, but it was a top contender fight against Trixie, essentially, to fight for the belt, which he won. So he is well versed, I think, is what you're trying to say with Machida. And these two, let's talk about the actual characters. Cyrus, Anderson Silva and Machida are best of friends.
Yeah.
Why can't we be friends? And these guys are Bill and Ted, essentially, when it comes to MMA.
Bro, two absolute legends of the sports and two absolute legends of the league. B3's Big E and KM Caliber. It's a bit of a shame that they seem to be having a little bit of an issue on their stream at the moment. I hope that stabilizes out, because the types of inputs that these guys have, the ability to pull out all sorts of tools out of the bag, and like I said, end fights on a moment's notice is not one to be missed. Don't blink, and please don't lag. What is going on?
These guys don't deserve the lag. It's top competitors fighting each other, and they fight each other a lot, J-Dime. Just like the plays, I'm liking the distance, the control. They're both trying to find their openings, but none of them are forcing it at the moment. Caliber overexerted himself slightly right there, but got paid off because he landed that head kick through the guard.
Yeah, this is looking tough. We even had KM Caliber popping into the chat. I don't know how this man does it. I think he types with his feet or something. But now he's getting rough. Never mind. Don't be typing, bro. The hands coming your way. B3 Big E did not want to follow up on the mat. You know that man likes to throw hands. But I honestly hope that this one's over soon, because their connection is almost painful.
Man, if you're Caliber right now, J-Dime, you've got to you can't lose your temper. You can't, It's not great, but it might even out at one point. You can't lose the fight because of the connection. You've got to stay in it.
But at the same time, I feel for both of them because this looks damn near unplayable right now.
It really does, brother. It really, really does.
Oh, that's what I mean, though. Beautiful work.
Look, when there's moments when it stabilizes out, like right now, it's all good, right? You can see that it's all good. And they catch each other. This is the potential of this fight. It's why it was made. And it's why I said it's definitely one of the standout fights of the evening. I hope this continues, my man, because, like I said, techniques need to be displayed.
Yeah, like if it kind of cleans out for a good couple of minutes, you might see some we've seen glimpses of brilliance from both guys, and I know both guys can get frustrated, but it's neither of their faults at the moment. Internet providers, you cannot control essentially, Cyrus. So you can try and have the best in it you can, but this happens now and then to myself, yourself, everybody. So essentially, they're just going through a bit of bad weather at the moment, and they've got to keep that ship on course.
Yeah, the hamster's not quite fully charged here this evening. It's kind of only semi-jogging, not sprinting, so maybe that'll wind up in a moment. Like I said, when it gets going, my man.
Oh,
so, no lag caliber, maybe one of the best guys in the world.
It's skipping to waiting for opponent.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm not gonna lie. They could stop the fight and start hugging or something, because I don't think it'll lag if y'all start hugging. I think it's just fighting. That's the problem with fighting.
Do we just call it?
We can call it a scrap. They have both complained in the chat. I don't know if they want to fight.
If you guys want to stop it, if you want to stop the fight, we're happy to call that a no contest. Both guys won't count on the record. Essentially, it's up to you guys. If you come out for the second round though, and that lag goes away, and the crowd starts cheering, and the performance comes, I wouldn't quit, Cyrus. I'm not gonna lie. I would stay in there.
They're going for it. And this fight will be scrapped. We'll take the decision out of their hands, right? Unfortunately, hopefully we will book that back at some point in the future when it's a little bit more stable and what McDonald's Wi-Fi is completely sorted out. But no, all jokes aside, their connections are normally A tier, so I think this is just a little bit unfortunate. One of those things, especially on live productions, you cannot prepare for all of these avenues, right? These things are going to happen, but I suppose that there's a benefit of that. We moved from one fight that we knew was going to be entertaining and unfortunately had some issues with technicalities onto another fight that, quite honestly, I am absolutely amped for. It is the one and only ICB the Pug, now obviously one of the leading members of the newly formed In Cold Blood, going up against KM Liam. I mean, that's Pirate Kip. He joined the KM boys a little while ago. He was already a savage, but working with those guys in that lab, I know that he's going to have sharpened his tools and bringing one of the more credible, kind of all-round threats, I suppose, to Pug's kind of status within the league right now. We haven't seen Liam in a little while. He's kind of been working his way back up. He is threatening at one of the veterans that's been knocking at the door of belts for quite some time there, Humble.
Did you say Pirate Kip?
Pirate Kip,
Who's Pirate Kip?
You don't know Pirate Kip, bro? You don't know
No. Which one's Pirate Kip?
Liam.
Liam's Pirate Kip, where he calls himself KM Liam.
Yes, sir.
KM Pirate Kip. That is incredible. Like, what a name. That is an incredible name. We need to get that name back, KM Liam.
Well, it's his actual gamer tag, and that's why I know him. This is the Xbox side of things. Obviously, I'm familiar with all of these guys playing on this side. Pirate Kip, but he's actually got it down as KM Pirate Kip in his picture, so I don't know what the fuck happened, bro, but we got him down as KM Liam. Either way, this man's got hands, trust, he can do it all, but like I said, so can ICB the Pug. Honestly, man, a lot of people have been hating on ICP the Pug recently, and I don't understand it. The guy is a savage, bro. When it hits the mat, he can make you work, he can ground and pound you, submit you, and of course, when it hits, this, I don't know what just happened, by the way, they'll be back. But when it comes to the striking, he's got one of the better jabs in the community, and I just expect big things out of both competitors here.
And this should be a great fight, and I'm interested. One of them should pick Brandon Moreno for one reason. He's going to have the height and reach over everyone because for some reason on this game, he's 6 foot tall. That's what it looks like. He looks taller than every flyweight on this game.
He changed his body type. It happened with Ngannou as well. Ngannou had a weird body type until they changed it. If you remember, Cyrus, it's sometimes they don't just put enough detail into kind of what those fighters kind of feel and should feel like with their bodies. Essentially, they run a bit wrong because they don't care enough. Essentially.
Yeah, exactly right. Right. I'll be honest with you. Dialing into this one, quite intently. I expect big things. I know that Pirate Kip has made runs here in the past, hasn't always gone his way, but like I said, I haven't really seen him display his skills in quite a long time, and I'm interested to see what adaptations he's made with the KM boys. And I think that ICB the Pug is about as tough of a challenge as you're going to get. I mean, like I said, he can really do it all. You can see that he's actually coming out of this fight a little bit more reserved, and that's going to play into Pirate Kip's game. He does like to be on the front foot and look to take the lead in these engagements.
Nice step back right there. We'll talk about the records of these two coming into this one. The Pirate Kip is currently 3-0 in that division right there, doing a fantastic job, ranked number 13 in the division. And then we've got Pug. As we move up this card, these guys get higher and higher in these divisions, and Pug is exactly that. Ranked number 7 at 8-5, doing a fantastic job this season, and most of his losses come to someone in the top 10. So he's a fantastic competitor. He's a very seasoned vet, essentially.
Yeah, and this fight is starting really fast. And I can't help to say this again, but notice the height of Brandon Moreno right now.
Yeah, he seems massive for the weight class, doesn't he? In this game, he does. But oh my god,
he's got a big head. Let's be honest.
But that's not it. Look at the height right now between.
If you got a big target right there to hit, and you've got to kind of balance out as well. Yeah, I always feel like Brandon Moreno's one of the worst characters in flyweight, just because of the power of Figgy and the movement of TJ are kind of two things that really kind of neutralize him. So for me, Figgy's a great character to kind of pick that. And if he uses the same game plan Figgy used in real life, which is a leg kicks, keep him at distance and really peppering him from there, Cyrus, he can get Moreno and Pirate Kip to kind of come forward and throw something hellish and catch him while he's doing so.
Yeah, exactly right. I will say one thing about Liam though. Pirate Kip is one of the guys that kind of limps in chaos. He really does excel in those exchanges, and I feel like that's what he's trying to force out of ICB the Pug right now. He's trying to press him up against that cage. He's trying to make him whiff one of his big shots to get a stamina advantage, and he knows that he can absolutely unload with a 5-6 punch combination, and especially in this sort of weight class, Jay, that sort of stamina with somebody like Brandon Moreno is going to be there. So why not go to your favorite combinations, and if they work, continue digging to that well, my man.
I'm going to tell you what I think Brandon Moreno should do. I think he should walk forward and throw shots at his block, because Figgy only has an 85 block.
Oh. Yeah, it's a good strategy. You hit the nail on the head, but when you do that, you can kind of walk into that power as well, and you don't want to walk yourself into some dangerous power, because we know he's got it. We know he can catch you. And if you want to kind of do it in volume as well, because you've got that distance, you can try and do that way as well, Cyrus. But you can't walk into power, essentially. You've got to be careful of that.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, obviously interesting as well, using those side steps, right? There are two versions of it: sidestepping with block, sidestepping without it. Advantages and disadvantages to both. Not seeing a massive amount of it, but I do feel like that may be one of the go-tos for Pug if he continues to be pressed up against the cage. Seems to be playing that footsie battle right now and is doing a good job of regaining some of that center cage, but it's difficult to see where exactly this fight is, Jay, because of course the lack of the information under the HUD of Figueiredo in the side of ICB the Pug. But it felt like a very close round with maybe some of the bigger flurries coming the way of Pirate Kip.
I would love to see if they would pause and show the stats between rounds. That would help a lot, Humble.
Oh yeah, but it also gives your opponent information. You've got to be careful. This is esports, J-Dime. If you do that, just for the commentary team, essentially, your opponent might be tuning in. You might be realizing, I might be ahead, I might not be.
Bro, they can look at it themselves. That don't make sense, Humble.
Oh, that's a good point.
He can press pause just like you.
It's a good point. I'm completely wrong.
Well, I mean, look, there's a lot of damage actually starting to being added up on both guys. They're both cut. They're both bleeding. I mean, I don't think, especially with these two guys, so two of the heavier hitters in this weight class, it may not take too many more. You can see that the combinations, the overall strikes are starting to add up, and I feel like the action is only starting to heat up, Humble. I mean, they're actually upping the strikes over the course of the fight, not downing them, which is surprising considering how fast they started out.
Yeah, definitely. And Pirate Kip's starting to fire some cannons down the middle as he started to catch his opponent. He's aiming for that treasure, and it's exactly what he's doing right now, trying to hurt him. Dan really putting the pressure onto Figueiredo.
Brandon Moreno looking good. This is a close fight, but I like how Brandon Moreno is fighting. Ooh, nice. Oh my.
Work.
Hey, he piecing him up right now.
And it may be something interesting to note there, Humble. A couple of guys mentioning in the chat that, of course, the block of somebody like Figueiredo is not fantastic. I think that they were mentioning it was in the 80s, mid-80 ranges. So, of course.
I said that.
You said it wrong. I missed it. My apologies.
I said that on the go. Oh my gosh. I said it was an 85. Humble, did I not say that?
No, I've definitely seen it in the chat. I can't remember Jay Dime exactly saying that. I'll just say.
Oh.
No, I'm joking. He did say it. Yeah, he is completely right though. Figueiredo has a kind of a weak sort of block, and he's doing a good job of taking his time at the moment. But I'm seeing a kind of momentum shift slowly to ICP Pug because he starts to sit behind his jab. The jab's hard to deal with IC Pug. You mentioned at the start, Cyrus, it's really hard to deal with.
Yeah, he just has such an educated jab, man. He really does work behind it very well. But he does get hooked in that combination right there. And Pirate Kip just going to the body, but he has to be careful not to take pictures, Jay, because those combinations coming back his way from Pug, who is angry, hurt, and looking to cause back, damage back on his opponent.
Yeah, he can't get carried away with him stunning him because Figgy is still throwing bombs at you. He's throwing long combos at him still, Humble.
Yeah, definitely. He's firing back, and there's also a recurring factor of that jab, which is touching your head. Oh, and it's kind of catching you coming in, but it's also bringing your head health down slowly, so you can when he does land a big bomb, it's a lot easier for him to drop you and then try to get the finish, Cyrus.
Oh my goodness! Got him rocked again. Looking to put the finishing touches on, but once again,
Oh.
I don't even know, bro. This might be it.
Good fight.
Oh,
Great
no,
defense.
it's not it.
Great defense. 9 seconds left. This is where knockouts happen, though. 5 seconds. We see guys throwing something wild. Nice. Good
Brother. What a fucking fight this is turning out to be. Living up to all the hype. The primetime guarantee continues, J-Time. We head into this next round, and my goodness, I expect it to just continue to heat up.
Yeah, this is a crazy fight, but I'm scared for Figgy. This may be over.
Oh, upkick him.
Up kick.
Kick from death.
This may be over. One more drop, this may end.
Yes, sir. This is a little bit of madness right now. You can see Marino trying to land a couple of 1-2s straight on the buzzer. See if he can turn those lights out once and for all. But ICB, the Pug, being elusive, getting off that center line just at the right moment and trying to come back with some counters. It is down to the wire sort of stuff as he gets another one, Humble.
Oh! X marks the spot, Cyrus. Pirate Kip gets the finish in the third round, and we get a rage kit. As much as I love you, Pug, that was crazy. Great job from Pirate Kip.
Yeah. That was a knockout and a half. He adds them all up, and ultimately the accumulated damage was enough to get Pirate Kip his hand raised over the course of that fight. It looks like he had 4 stuns, 1 knockdown in total. Decided to get that early advantage with Moreno, and he really didn't let up, Jay.
I'm not gonna lie to you. That was nasty. He was beating him like he stole something for a while. Like, I knew, even though he's landing, it was just a matter of time before that match was going to end because Brad Moreno was beating him like he stole his bike, essentially.
Yeah, and Pug wears his heart on his sleeve. That's why he kind of do that. There is obviously precautions and things we take in action for people rage quit and things like that. But the guy's passionate. He doesn't want to lose. Essentially, I would never condone it, Cyrus.
Yep.
But it was a fantastic performance, and we like to see the highlights. We like to see the finishes. But for me, Pirate Kip, bloody brilliant! What a name and what a finish!
Yeah, standout performance, stand out. Win basically so far for him. Great stuff, and I'm interested to see where he goes from there. That now means that he is 4-0 in the promotion, and puts a lot of interesting options on the table for him potentially going forward, especially if he's able to continue that momentum into his next fights. But I think that was about as good as it gets to set us up for that co-main and main event of Primetime 67. It is going to be up next, of course, the one and only Doctor Who, the Damian Maya main even. He is going to be stepping up on the PlayStation side of things. He said he wanted to make a run at it. If you don't know this man's technique, he's going to kick that leg and take you down. As you well know, Humble. He does it each and every time. But knowing it is much, kind of... knowing it's half the battle, but stopping it is a completely different thing. He is about as dominant as they get when it hits the mat and really, really knows that game inside and out. And that's why he is stepping up against one of the kind of more toughest opponents on the PlayStation side of things. There's a reason that their co-main event, they are biting at the bit effectively, trying to get themselves into the title talk. And up in the heavyweight division, there's one hitter quitter power up here, bro. There's one hitter quitter. I don't know which way this is going to go.
It's almost like Doctor's picked his own weight classes in these ones, Doctor. What are you doing? You're 3-0 currently in the, I think, is it the PlayStation division that he's going through at the moment? It is, isn't it, Cyrus?
Yeah, he doesn't do his matches, as you well know, you bastard.
No, I know this. I'm painting a picture, Cyrus.
Yeah, no,
we've got to roll it.
Sure?
Doctor is 3-0 currently with the heavyweight division. He's fighting a tough competitor at the moment who's 7-3. And I've got to put a note in here. Doctor does a lot of our stuff in the background. He's putting here. He loves southpaw against his opponent. Now, what that means is he's showing off and showing us that he's essentially studied this guy, you know. So let's see if he starts in southpaw and if Doc's right.
Well, we shall see, brother. We shall see. Love to see Aspinall in this one, though. I have to say, since the updates come out, I have got that fighter update. I know I said I hadn't had for a little while, and he feels good up in this weight class, man. I think this is a really, really fun matchup. He's going to be a lot bigger and a lot more powerful than somebody like Johnny Bones Jones out there, Jay. And, of course, he's going to have to utilize that and some really, really nice takedown defense if he's going to hope to walk away with the victory in this one.
Oh, he done already shot. What did Doctor say? He's going to kick the leg and take you down.
100%, bro.
The whole world knows the strategy. You just got to stop it.
You can't stop it. And a little bit of a note as well about the stats of Tom Aspinall. He's got one of the worst staminas and body health in the heavyweight division, up there with the stamina with Ngannou and essentially the body health of DC. So two weaknesses of two top guys. He's got both of those, and he'll be interested because Doctor Who is going to have to need the body, he's going to have to get dirty, he's going to have to keep on his back and drain that stamina, and that could be really detrimental to Doctor Who trying to push himself in the division and get a title shot, Cyrus.
It could be, but I will say to you that one of the things that he does so well is that he is just so aware of positional awareness, how long he's got on that mat, and making sure that he doesn't take unnecessary, risks to lose position. He will posture up, he will throw a punch or two, and then posture down of his own accord. He does things on his own terms, and that's what often causes so much frustration when he comes across his opponents, utilizing things like grapple advantage so smoothly there, Jay, as you saw him slice across into the side control. Now getting denials off, this is an incredibly tough position to get up, if you're somebody like Aspinall.
Yeah, I know Reepsy walked in here thinking John Jones going to throw an elbow, I'm going to strike with him. But as we all know, Doctor's going to kick your leg and take you down, Humble.
And when he gets you down, he's going to make you frustrated, and he's going to kind of pick apart and don't really do anything. It might look like he's kind of tapping and stuff like that, but there's no damage there. Doctor's just trying to frustrate you. So you overexert yourself, you make a mistake, and then he capitalizes on that mistake and drains your stamina even a bit more. It's essentially a long game battle, Cyrus, but similar to Spooky, you said.
Yeah, honestly, he plays chess, not checkers, bro, and that's what it comes down to, right? He's not looking to win the fight in a couple of seconds because he knows that that's not where his strength lies. He's not, he's not kind of an explosive striker. He has his best work done on the mat. He's worked on the hands quite a lot, and he will have that to fall back on, but as you can see when it hits the mat, it's one-way traffic right now, and he is giving all sorts of problems. He will work, and he will take the positions that are given to him. You say that there was, of course, that they're not landing a lot of damage. You're absolutely right, but what they are doing, as you kind of alluded to, is chip away at the damage of the body and take away his overall stamina, so when it does hit the feet, a little bit of the pop is taken off that punch, Jay, and he can come back tenfold with his own combinations.
Yeah, but next round, because I assume he's not going to get up this round, next round, Tom Aspinall is going to come out hot. I'm telling you what he's thinking. He's thinking, I was on this ground laying here for his first round. I got to get this back in blood. And now he's going to come out fast, Humble.
Yeah, he definitely is. And he's got to be careful because Doc used that against him. He didn't even set up the first takedown in this fight. It was just there for him. And that's what Tom Aspinall is going to be wary of. He's got to make John Jones work in this round. He's got to go to the body. He can't just lay on his back and kind of get tapped through the entire round because he's lost that round essentially, Cyrus, and he's one down at the moment. He's got two to make it up, and he has to win both.
Yeah, no, he does, bro. He does, and he has to make a statement here. If he can get one big rock and get Doc a little bit off his game, but Instantly, you can see him utilizing that side kick to get him to the cage. A clinch with a double knee, square to the dome. Obviously, Reepsy concerned about that takedown, but he was not able to stop it. The turning takedown up against the cage, J Dime, perfectly timed, perfectly executed. And as we saw in the last round, once it hits the mat, it is harder to get up than you may think against somebody like Dog.
Yeah, this gotta be depressing. You start off this round and you're back on your back again. I know he was thinking, I'm gonna get this back. Oh no! He needed that, bro.
That's massive.
He needed that. He needed that.
This is where you've got to hurt him. Like, Doc is a confidence-based fighter as well. If you take Doc's confidence, you start to beat him. Essentially, that's how you beat Doctor. When you make him believe that he can't beat you, that you've got an answer to his kind of game plan, and that's exactly what Reeves needs to do. He needs to read the pattern and take away the will of Doc.
Yeah, this is absolutely massive for him. God damn, this is monumental at the moment, Humble.
Oh, that is massive, because Doc's starting to feel some adversity, and when Doc starts to feel some adversity, he can essentially wither, Jay.
You just gave me the whole scouting report on Doc. You just said a lot. You just said a lot about Doc, and you know Tom Aspinall can hear you too, Humble.
I'm not trying to make Doc lose, I promise. But that's exactly what you got to do, though. You know, the other guys doing the right thing. We talk about what they've got to do throughout each fight, yeah. And even though Doc's a friend and we poke fun, you know, he was winning the fight, quite simply. He was winning the fight, Cyrus. The first round was domination. The second round, it's slightly changed, but Doc has now managed to get over that sort of bump, and he's got him against the fence, controlling him again.
Yeah, and the more that the fight stays in positions like this, the more he will be able to compose himself. It's the initial panic that can sometimes get him a little caught, but as you can see, he now seems to be centered and zoned in, hits the mat once again, has 1:40 left on the clock, and has to really, really start to get this fight going now, because that was some good damage being landed by Aspinall.
Ooh, hold on. Hold on, Tom.
It's
Oh, he's not going to get that.
Yeah, it's not about it. It's about going for some attempts off your back, and obviously wasting the clock as well. If you've already won the majority of the stand-up on the feet, as Cyrus was alluding to, and then they take you down and you're controlling the position with a submission rather than them ground and pound you like you are now, you can kind of take some clock off them and also take some of those points as well that the judges would give them.
Nice.
Yeah, getting back up to the feet there, J-Dime, absolutely massive for him. He goes to the well once again with the body kicks. You can see the impact that it's having on John Jones. Each shot is knocking him back massively, and you know, the power difference is evident as he sidesteps, subtle as fuck.
It may be over.
This is it. Oh, Tom. Tom.
It's
always.
The buzzer, bro. The buzzer. Down to the buzzer. Jesus. What? Mate, do you know what, though? Reepsy, we've spoken a lot about Doc. What composure to come back into this fight. That subtle sidestep that he pulled off right there, Humble, was a work of art. And, I mean, if I was Doc, I'd be a little bit worried after that. That was about as well timed as it gets.
1-1, right? 1-1.
Yeah, 100%.
You come out of this round, you've got to win it, and Doc's come out with a bat out of hell. And we've seen it in the first round. Reepsy's got to be careful. Yeah, he's got to do what he did in the second round and kind of take the will out of Doc and block the takedowns and make him stand with him for a longer period of time than he did in that first round, essentially.
Yeah, I feel like Reepsy now is starting to get a bit of momentum, and Doctor needs to have more reactive takedowns and utilize some back movement, but he does get him down right here and is once again...
That's
good. Whoa. He's back to the feet. And
Reepsy is doing a great job.
Did he just taunt?
Yeah, he taunted.
Take the will. You got it.
Oh my god.
Oh, nice work. Doc's starting to panic. He's starting to panic wrestle.
Yeah.
Brother.
And now Reepsy's starting to get comfortable.
The Doc's not got to panic. He's got to set up his shots. He's got to prod and poke and use John Jones. How John Jones is supposed to be used. He can't do that, Cyrus.
Do you know the funny thing is, we say panic, but I honestly don't think that he's changed his approach throughout this entire fight. As much as we joke and prod, I actually think that this is just been part of the game plan. He knows what Reepsy is good at.
Doc's on top.
That's maybe a massive mistake, though, from Reepsy now.
Wow.
Is it?
Potentially, bro.
He blocks it again. He's doing a good job of blocking Doctor on the floor now. He knows that he needs damage.
Well. Gonna land one or two. Switch up sides. You know he's going to be looking to advance position with a lot of time left on the clock. He knows that the ground and pound opportunities are going to be best presented if he moves up that massive frame of Tom Aspinall. But we've seen it already. Reepsy been doing a good job of playing this fight fairly intelligently, defending well on the mat, Jay, so far, able to mitigate a lot of that damage.
Yeah, and Reepsy, I'm not gonna lie to you, before it got to the ground, Reepsy was looking really comfortable. He was starting to get really cozy on the feet, Humble.
Yeah, he was, and that's exactly what you've got to do, though. Like, you had to keep it there, and he was the one to kind of let Doc control where the position is, and now we're unsure of who's won this third round because of that, and Doc's just doing what Doc does, essentially. I do believe the damage, though, is coming from Reepsy, so Doc might have to get more urgent, essentially, or he could lose the fight, Cyrus. Both guys have got to try and finish this. I don't know who this is kind of going to go to.
Yeah, it's been a very close fight, but I do feel like the momentum, at least as of the second round, started to shift in the way of Tom Aspinall. Was it enough to get his hand raised? Only time will tell. There is 35 seconds left on the clock, though, and he does still need to survive. He does more than just that. He reverses the position. Beautiful work.
Oh,
Nice
he can get
work.
some shots in. If he gets some shots in here, he's gonna win this round.
Oh, big shots coming through. No, it doesn't quite go through.
No.
Both guys have mitigated each other really well. You mentioned it earlier on. Like, there's not a lot of damage, but when it's landed, it's been big at times. But there's a lot of control, essentially, Cyrus.
Yeah, look, they may not have caused a lot of damage on the mat, but it's not through lack of trying. I mean, these guys were really, really going at it. It was more just speaking to the defensive capabilities on the mat and showing that they are dangerous in absolutely every facet of mixed martial arts. We now go to the judge's decision. Tom Aspinall feels that he has done enough to get his hand raised. We shall see. Split decision. John Bones Jones. Doc gets his hand raised once again. Woo! What do you make of that, my guys?
It's a close fight, right? It's how do you definitely scored the first round.
You took it that third, bro. Look, let's go back to that third. Just looking at it, sorry to jump on it, but that third, I think, is where he took it.
That entire one position where he had him on his back, or he took it. Tom Aspinall started to grapple, cost him that entire fight, J-Dime. One shot, one moment cost him the fight.
Whew. Boys. What a fight. What a fight. Congratulations to both competitors. I think take a bow. It was great. What
Sorry, I see bobblehead in the chat. I don't know what everyone's talking about, but the Doc bobblehead, I don't believe he did. I can't remember that.
Well, I'll be honest with you, it's one of those things that's currently under review as a whole. I don't even really understand this Mount bobblehead stuff. I've seen some videos on it. I can see that it is a little bit busted when it's really, really fully exploited, but
everyone said he did it. Oh my days, Doc. But we'll review you, Doc. We'll review this win for you. It could be over to. We'll review it in the chat. We do actually look at everything, Cyrus, right?
Yeah.
We did it last week. We looked at other things. Just because Doc's a staff member, he's getting reviewed. Everyone does, essentially. So we'll have a look at it. We'll have a vote, and we'll see what's going on between them. The great thing about Primetime, before we go into the main event, we're a community of people that come together to make decisions. Not one of us make a decision on our own. We do it as a combined unit, and we make events like tonight, Cyrus, and we're going to have a fantastic main event between G-Man and Smudger. The PlayStation title is on the line. It's G-Man currently 6-0 against Smudger, who's 8-2. This is going to be a fantastic event. A former champion versus a current champion. What do you make of this one?
Honestly, integrity and entertainment is what Primetime MMA is all about. We talked about integrity, now we move on to some entertainment, my man. This main event is absolute fireworks. G-Man, the current reigning champion, as you can see, going the way of Marvin Vettori, the Orc himself, if you will, and he's going to be going up against one of the better striking pedigrees that is known to that middleweight division in Israel Adesanya. Smudger utilizes him excellently, but can he stop that marauding style that G-Man brings to the table, J-Dime? Only time will tell, my man, and that time is now.
Betting lines. Them betting lines, J-Dime. People can still bet. If you want to get your bets in on this main event this evening, you can. But if you've seen them betting lines, J-Dime, what do you make of them? Your mic's muted, brother.
Oh, my bad. First of all, one, I think you got something to do with it. That's the first thing. And two, it's 66% for Smudger. And I think G-Man got to put Smudger on the ground. That's what he got to do to win, because Smudger is a phenom on the feet. And you didn't mention his camp. He's NM Smudger. You ain't mentioned his camp.
A fantastic camp with lots of fantastic competitors in there, like many people in this thing. But you see these camps come along, and we talked about it before. The Istafellas adapted a team sort of kind of persona in their leagues, and we see it more and more in our leagues as well because of that, Cyrus, of the nature of how we're connected. The league means something, the people mean something, the teams mean something essentially.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's something that been building for a little while, but I mean, I don't want to take too much time away from this fight. In all honesty, talking about camps, let's talk about these specific fighters. As you see that G-Man is not trying to let his belt go easily, mixing it up, landing some good shots, Jay, and already trying to get those grappling exchanges thrown into the mix.
Yeah. And you know what G-Man's having success? He's having success with that lead uppercut he was throwing in the beginning of the match. Kept hitting him, Humble.
Ooh. Yeah, and it's beautiful to kind of throw that as well because it's quick. It's nifty. It kind of stops your opponent from ducking a lot. And there's a lot of body shots that come from Smudger. Smudger is fantastic at kind of setting up a fake body shot. A lot of those guys who came from the BMF camp kind of have similar sort of traits because they must have trained it together. But they fake that body shot, and you can see him kind of do it. And the lead uppercut beats that essentially, Cyrus.
Yeah, it really, really does. Now, of course, the interesting thing to note here is that when somebody becomes a champion, a lot of the time you see that confidence boom, and that's really where they start to excel and have their best performances. You're seeing this out of G-Man right now up against a former champion, a dominant one at that. He is having a lot of success landing shots on the feet, where you would think that traditionally his best work would be done on the mat. But look at that, Humble.
Yeah, G-Man, I'll be honest, G-Man surprising me because it's not someone on my radar as coming through as a champion. I was kind of surprised when he won the belt, but he's winning my respect every single time he competes because he's somebody to be noted, and he's landing beautiful combinations. The timing of this man, the mix-up, the variety, and also the characters he picks as well. It's very unorthodox.
Ooh. He's pressuring Izzy, I'm not gonna lie. He's doing a decent job pressuring him. G-Man's not fighting bad. Ooh.
Mate, he's
and
fighting.
A takedown.
He's fighting phenomenally. I'd go that one step further. I mean, I just don't really see him, or haven't seen him, really take many, if any, steps wrong so far. He now gets the fight to the mat, which is where his preference is going to be, Humble. And of course, that's going to be a little bit demoralizing for the challenger because he was getting lit up on the feet. And now it's on the mat with a good old minute to work.
But Tori's got some mega hands in that mat as well. He's got good ground and pound. That's what we don't want. The Italian stallion sat on top of you, throwing those combinations with the. It's only a thin amount of leather in that glove, Cyrus. It really hurts you, and your head bounces back off the canvas as well when he's on mount. People don't think about that. It's like 2 shots in one, head bouncing back. I know it's a game, but that's exactly what it feels like, and those shots are brutal from the ground.
Yeah, concussive blows to say the least, doubling up, if you will, double bubble on those elbows. He lands another one square on the side of that face. He's taking his time. I have to say that the defense is holding up for Smudger, but of course this is not the start he was looking for, Jay.
Yeah, but good thing is this is 5 rounds. But even though Smudger lost that round, he's doing a good job defending because multiple times Marvin Vettori tried to get the crucifix and he denied it every time, Humble.
Yeah, definitely. He's good on the ground. Like, he's a good player. Smudger is a fantastic player all round. He'll grapple people a lot of times as well with strikers. So gotta be careful of that. And he doesn't mind kind of taking that position. He will try to win round by round. He knows that he's down around now. We're going to be either see some adjustments from Smudger or G-Man's going to continue to impress Cyrus.
Exactly right, brother. Exactly right. As the fight... Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Smudger, the former champion, starting the fight out, or starting this round out, Jay, with an absolute bang. My goodness, brother, that's the way to shift momentum.
Oh my God! Hey, this is a whole different fight now.
Bro,
and it's all started with the body shots.
What just happened? What have we seen? 0 to 100 in 0.1, Humble. Absolutely phenomenal pace being set by the former champion.
Nice.
Nice work. Goes for the body kick to the head. Takes him down.
He needed
nice
that
adjustment right there from G-Man.
Yeah, the champion did definitely need that. This is an absolutely incredible start for the challenger in this second round. We know that he's going to be composed and try to stop Marvin's advancements in these positions, but either way, I'm sure you'll agree, Jay, G-Man's going to be happy here. That was not the way he wanted to start out round 2. So slowing this down, definitely what the doctor ordered.
Listen to me. Smudger went into the start of the round and started dominating. He just started. He stunned him to the body, then hit him with the knee. I was like, dang, I thought he was gonna finish him. It was like a whirlwind, Humble.
He's on his back now though, so G-Man, I say that, and he gets back to his feet and he's waiting for that. G-Man managed to kind of adjust as well. But I talked about it in mid-round, adjustments are going to be important for Smudger, and he's a veteran, he's an ex-champion, he's a former champion, this guy has that in the ability, and I said he's 1 round down, he knows that he's got to come back and make those adjustments, and that's exactly what we've seen. But he's got to be careful not to give that lead that he's got in this early round up to G-Man, Cyrus.
Yeah, I mean, look, after such a crazy start for G-Man, that's a bit better. I mean, when he lands, obviously it's going to be confidence building, but it's just that the defense of Smudger right now, he seems to have made all of the necessary adjustments, is occasionally getting clipped, but oh my goodness, you see the stamina's gone from Marvin J.
That's what I wanted to see. I knew his stamina was gone.
Yeah.
Because Humble, you know my strength is stamina management. I knew where his stamina was. That's what the body shots won. And then all that stamina he's exerting grappling too.
Yeah, we're not seeing a lot of those lead hooks come anymore as well. We're seeing a lot of the lead uppercuts that you pointed out in the first round. We're starting to see now slip hooks, different sort of shots, which is going to allow Smudger to kind of close distance. When you slip and you try and do something, he can kind of get on the inside and then land those body shots. So nice work from Smudger to kind of close that distance and recognize G-Man's kind of sort of switch up.
Well, this is definitely a little bit better where he wants to be, but I think that we will all agree that this is one apiece potentially going into this third round now. It's a 5-round fight, my guys. The gold is on the line. PlayStation title is being defended or not in this one. And, I mean, look, these guys are fighting like it. They're humble, bro. Like, they're fighting on the bit. Every single second is hard earned.
Oh! We've got to think 1-1 right now, right? You've got to think the amount of damage that Izzy landed, and then first round was kind of it was one-sided in my opinion. We've seen 2 adjustments from both guys. Are we going to see G-Man making another adjustment?
I don't think.
For Smudger.
No,
you called it, J-Time? You called it already?
No.
You called it already?
No, I'm going to tell you why. If you see the way he's playing, he's gassed. His stamina's gone. And it was gone after them 2 body shots. And then he started mixing in them teeps. Like, it's been gone. It's gone. I know it's gone. It's already gone completely. That's why I said there's no more adjustment going to be made. He kind of needs, I'm not saying Hail Mary, but I don't know if his shot's going to have enough power to stun him at this point.
Bro, honestly, the takedowns are really going to kill him in these situations when you're already gassed, shooting naked double legs or single legs, trying to get that ankle pick. Quite clearly, the percentage is not there enough for you, Humble, and it's only going to continue to tax your stamina.
Like, stamina's gone. Like, it's completely gone.
Smudger's a veteran and he's going to try and capitalize on that. But at this moment, G-Man's winning the round. Like, if he can somehow manage to continue this without Smudger's...
Yeah, this is...
We may be seeing a new champion, my guy. Never count out G-Man, but this is looking really, really tough for him right now.
Look at this. When I say he has no stamina, I meant he has no stamina.
Oh my God, bro.
Even in the second round, all of them he was shooting, because he got stunned to the body and started shooting a lot. And a lot of his transition was getting denied.
In all fairness,
his body. He gets him with an elbow. It doesn't even land. This is the thing. When you've got no stamina, your power is completely different, and also your vulnerability to getting hurt and knocked out, Cyrus, is massively higher than it is when you've got more stamina. That's why you try to keep your stamina high.
Yeah, and he keeps turning the same way, which is something that Smudger is, definitely onto right now. He's obviously in panic mode. This has got to be it.
This is game. Smudger.
My goodness, what a comeback after that first round. You called it, Jay. You called it, brother. That stamina was gone after those body shots. Perfectly timed, perfectly placed. And I think that was the adjustment he needed, and ultimately, as you mentioned, why he got his hand raised.
Exactly. I told you, when I said he was done, you thought I was just... No, like, he has no stamina.
Jay, honestly, I was going to say in the fight, bro.
Too much.
I was going to say in the fight, like, I've never heard you. You've been calling these fights for quite some time now, bro. You've been around this scene for a little while, and I've never heard you say that guy's done. Like, he's out. So like, I knew he was done, bro.
Humble, what is my strength in UFC 4?
It is stamina management, and obviously Jay called it during that fight. But as like, as the champion, you've got to give him the respect that he potentially might bring it back. And he was winning most of that round, but he was doing the rope it up, right? He was kind of letting him throw a lot of shots, letting him kind of exert himself. Knowing the takedowns were going to come later in the fight helped Smudger because he was ready for them. He was ready to counter them, and then he was ready to gas his opponent and going for them. And he knew that he was going to have that surge essentially. So that's why he was so calm in that first round.
Yeah, and honestly, lads, that was a perfect way to cap off the main event of Primetime 67. It has been an emotional one. All of the drama, all of the action on full display here this evening. We appreciate each and every one of you that came through and supported the channel here this evening. From the new follows, of course, the subs, the raids from the legendary Gaming Echo and Gringo_AFC. Once again, make sure to check those guys out if you haven't already. We will be back with more action as always next Friday, 8:30 p.m. UK Standard Time, 3:30 Eastern. Much love, stay safe, and we will see you in the next one. Make sure to join that raid. Show some love to this loving community that we do have.